Hey, guys, welcome back to another installment of the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast. Yo, for the week of October 15, 2022, a day before my homie Juice's co-host birthday. Happy early birthday, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday to me.
Once again, I'm your host, D.
Juice, go.
Frank,
another co-host, and
You got the green steez paraphernalia.
Right, the green steez. Oh, I know it had to be a black person in there.
Sponsoring this podcast,
right?
So
sponsored by Green Steez.
Sponsored by Green Steez.
And I guess before first and foremost, guys, let me say it's good to be back with everybody. You know, definitely Frank and Juice, Steph. I know I barely see you at all anymore, but hey, man, welcome to the cast. All right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is like the time we get to hang out, man. So
right.
We ready
it's
to
fun.
do this.
It's fun for everybody.
Yeah, welcome. They don't invite me here either anyway. So stop.
I just crashed it and I'm eating guac.
Yeah, Steph was like, look, I'm about to be on your show today.
I told Steph, don't be eating chips to drive home our points in this conversation.
It sounded like a great idea, so I'm definitely going to do that.
I guess we're going to start out with Black Panther 2. And I know my man Frank over here has not seen the trailer for the movie. Steph, have you seen the trailer?
Mm-mm.
You haven't seen the trailer either?
No, I'm excited.
See, I put stuff in the group and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I watched them.
It's not
that we don't care.
It's not that we don't care.
No, you didn't care.
Whoa! That was very personal.
Yeah, that was definitely. Look, I posted that joke.
Look, it's not that people don't care. It's that maybe some people want to still be surprised. Maybe people still want to go to the movies and not know half the plot because of the 4 trailers that they released before the movie comes out.
Yeah,
now you know that they only released 2 trailers because this is the biggest movie of the year, and they didn't want to release too much. Right, because there's so much going on with it.
Arguably, they already did, but yeah.
That's exactly why I had.
That is definitely not why she didn't watch the trailer.
She didn't watch it because she wasn't looking at the trailer.
But if you can elaborate.
He said it. He really said everything.
I will say though that this trailer did a great job of driving home my excitement for the movie. Right, like I'm way more excited after seeing this trailer to see this movie than I was before seeing the trailer.
There you go.
You know, like they had some awesome scenes. Was there an Iron Man appearance? Was that an Iron Man suit?
I'm not sure.
I mean, neither. So. And I feel you. That's part of not watching the trailer. But something from the bottom blasted into the air. So I'm like, is it this suit or is it like?
Look, I know that Ironheart's supposed to be in the movie.
Yeah, could it be like
if that's what you're talking
War
about.
Machine or something? Maybe.
Oh,
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Because
something from the bottom, like it blasted into there. I was like, "What is that?"
I think y'all are straight up fucking with me right now. I don't know. I don't even know if this is true or not.
Namor looks dope. He looks like he's gonna be a badass. I'm like, I want to see him.
Hey, look, let me say this right now about Namor. The ankle wings, right?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen the ankle wings in like media?
Yeah.
Other than the drawn images.
Nah.
I want to see them.
Hard, man.
I want to see them work.
It's hard.
I can buy it.
But they pull it. I think they did the best they could with it.
I can buy it.
For ankle wings.
I can't believe that they actually still thought the ankle wings was a good idea.
Well, they had
to
maybe
put in the movie.
Maybe it's just aesthetic.
That's
really questionable.
Right? It might just be like prosthetic or like aesthetic. One of those aesthetics.
They could have
on a boot.
Yeah, because it might flap, but maybe
they could have even not included it because in this movie, Namor is not like in the comics as far as like ethnicity, right? Like he looks like he's like Aztec or Mayan, instead of like
he does like he fits the role
white,
of the
instead
king
of white
of the
Atlantean, you know, like. But I know Atlanteans aren't supposed to be like a race that's classified by like the census here in America, but like at the same time, I've never
seen them portrayed as black.
No,
not even once.
Well, that's how you know they're actually black.
Well, I was actually thinking of Black Manta, but no, that's not. He's not black. I mean, he's not Atlantean.
This trailer looks super dope, and as long as the wings they can flap, but as long as Namor is badass enough, it won't matter about the wings. Think about like something as simple as like a cape now, right? Like think about how useless a cape is. Right.
I know his name. I've never heard.
Yeah, sorry, hold on. This is going to tie into the larger point, like a cape, right? Like Superman looks cool with the cape, Batman looks cool with the cape, but how useless is a cape in 2022? I mean, it's just a snag. It's just going to snag you into the engine of a plane or something.
But
you don't need the cape, but you need it for the aesthetic of the character. So maybe that's the point of the ankle wings is they'll flap and they'll look like little wings. You know what I'm saying? They'll flap.
The opposite point. Like the cape is like an imposing thing. It takes up
so
much
the ankle wings. You need them. If they didn't have ankle wings, people like my man Frank here would be complaining, hey, where's his ankle wings? You know, because Namor has ankle wings, so we have to see them. You know, they got to put them there.
I just said, I'm like, I really think. I'm really thinking that's because like that's just like a 70s thing to do as far as like designing the character.
He looks so cool though with the earrings and he does look Mayan.
It's a Hermes thing, right? Or like a Greek. What's that Greek guy with the
Hermes?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, back then they were really into that, but this guy's a Mayan, Aztec, ancient Atlantean.
Right.
Like we didn't need the ankle wings. You doesn't have to be a Greek.
No, he looks Mayan. He looks Egyptian. He looks like all these different cultures.
Scales. Real talk.
Oh, he's racially ambiguous.
Yes, he looks more
like he looks like his
the
actor's ethnicity. He looks Mexican.
Yeah,
or more like Islander with a Samoan, Filipino. Yeah, somewhere like that. Like
Mexican or Filipino.
Yeah.
And the same as Aquaman. Like they made him kind of racially ambiguous, so like he could fit all molds, you know, and he fit the character because what is an Atlantean? Are they European white? Are they West African black? You know, what is an Atlantean? Where do they come from? Where was Atlantis before it sunk into the sea?
It seems like all portrayal of Atlanteans have been European, blonde hair, blue eyes
in the comics, but as far as the cinematic universe goes,
well,
the location was off the coast of
Africa, right? That's what I heard, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe West Africa. Right?
Yeah.
I did hear that. Alexandria Library and all that stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
What part of Africa?
Who knows?
I don't remember.
If it's South Africa, then that makes a whole lot of sense why you have a bunch of white people. That'll be
the trailer looks so dope. And there were so many other scenes in the trailer I wanted to talk about. Okay, let's talk about this scene on the screen, man. Like Shuri and the Black Panther.
I love this.
I
love that suit. That suit looks so dope.
The suit does look dope.
That looks so dope. Like, goodness gracious.
They don't keep making her take the mask on and off like they did in the first movie with Chadwick. But it just took me out of it every time. You know,
you know why they do that? Because they want the actor to connect. They want the audience to connect with the actor,
and the actor needs screen time. They need to emote.
That's why in the Spider-Man movies they're always pulling their masks off. I'm like, put your mask back on.
Like, oh my god, there's a dude right there. Put your mask on.
This would be interesting though because she's always been the support factor, you know. So
which I thought fit her role. She was the
scientist.
She becomes the Black Panther in the comics.
Story.
I do think this trailer might be a little more misleading.
She'll have support.
This picture might be a little misleading. What if she is not really taking over the mantle of the Black Panther in this scene? What if she just has to? Okay, yes. What if? I'm trying to give another side.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, what if that's Okoye?
What if that's Nakia?
It could be.
What if that's Nakia?
It could be somebody. It would not be they have to defend.
It would make more sense that it would be her.
They have to defend in the moment.
Nakia. It would not be Okoye. It would not be her because she is the General Zora. That's her role. That is who she will always be. Mm-hmm. She'll never be the Black Panther because she protects Wakanda. Right. Like she's for Wakanda. Black Panther is for the world, right? Yeah. Like, what if that's Nakia?
She is a protector.
In a twist. What if that's Nakia?
She's a rogue. She's out there in the field all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that's Nakia, if that's Nakia, I would be like, yes.
Now we did it. The argument against it I heard was that those markings on her eyebrows and over her eyes, those matched Shuri's her eye makeup. Yeah, movie. That's right. It does. It does.
Like it had the same. I'm just saying, maybe they might have to defend.
She's also very slender built like this.
They're both Nakia.
Yeah, they're both.
She seems a little bit stockier in a sense.
She is a little bit stockier, but
I do want to congratulate you guys on something. The fact of the matter is that we were right that was not a man.
Yeah.
So I do want to say, I want to point that out.
Yeah.
We should have known when they showed her butt in the trailer. We should have known. Sexualizing women again.
Is that a guy? And I was like,
that's Lady Butt.
That's Lady Butt.
That's Lady Butt.
And the hand, I was like,
hey, Juice, can we admit
there was a whole debate on his butt?
You can go to the beginning of the trailer and like show us still shots throughout the trailer?
There was, but again,
would that be acceptable, Frank?
It'd be a whole thing, though.
Yeah. I got you.
I can pull it up.
No, you good. There were so many other. Let me watch it on my phone again. So I can.
Please God. No, but this trailer I've seen, but
So-
we were talking about, Marvel has done this before where they would show us something like this, and then when the movie actually shows, when we actually get to see the movie, either this scene never happens or this scene happens and it's a man in the suit. That's why we were having the debate.
I think it's interesting that you guys noticed that it was a female bottom because the hands are clearly feminine.
Well, we didn't know it was a female.
It could be CGI'd out. Like, look, this could be a little Photoshop right here.
It was cut.
Could be a little Photoshop
Like,
right
we were
here.
going
Could
by
be a little
the-
bit because
by
like
the
look, this part of the arm is kind of big, but this part of the arm is kind of small, and it could be
Right.
angles, but it could be a little Photoshop right here. Could be
Yeah.
a man's arm.
Like
This
the last
right here
image
could
was
definitely
cut.
pass as a man's arm, right? But that butt,
Yeah,
Nah,
we were
that's
mainly looking at
that's
the
lady butt.
thigh, on the
That's lady
thigh
butt.
and that calf.
yeah, the
And-
calf,
and-
the calf,
and-
and the
and
butt,
the-
like
and the
we
tops.
automatically
And the
knew, like that's
buttocks
lady
region.
butt.
Oh man.
You know,
The
one
gluteus region.
point, like looking at the trailer a little bit more, I want to know more about the connection between Namor and his people and the Wakandans and the Black Panther. Like, I know, Frank, you know a lot about the comic books, but no spoilers, no spoilers.
Please go ahead, talk.
But I just want to know what's the relationship there. What
What's
is,
what?
because I'm trying to glean things from the trailer, but you know, we all know trailers can be misleading, right? But I want to know more about the relation, like what are the politics between the Atlanteans and Namor and the Wakandans and the Black Panther mantle? Like, what's going on here? Why is he attacking them?
I will say it's probably
Is it Namor versus the Wakandans, or is it Namor versus the world versus the Earth? You know what I mean?
so it's more like that, but I will only say that it seems like it was never this big of a deal in the comics.
Right.
Right. In the comics,
We
like
say this
Namor
big,
and
we'll
Black
go
Panther have
out.
come across each other handful of times.
Yeah.
But like it seems like in the movie, this is their reason, there's their excuse to bring Namor into the MCU.
Into the larger world.
into the MCU.
And he looks badass. I'll say that.
and,
He looks cool as shit.
I really hope they don't kill him
Mhm.
because
Nah,
they've
can't.
killed literally all of their villains.
They need someone
But
to.
Namor is always an anti-villain, like
He's
or
an anti-hero.
So
you
he
see the
always
thing-
has the potential to come
The
back.
thing about
as-
Namor
Okay.
too, the thing about Namor as well is that this is where we get our first real look at the Fantastic Four. Namor is going to be the reason that the Fantastic Four.
And
Are
let's
gonna-
not forget in
Doctor Doom, of
Doctor
course.
Strange, you had Professor X show up. You got Wolverine showing up in another trailer of the MCU.
Deadpool.
That would
Yeah.
excite me
So,
so much.
hey, I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. You know,
I mean,
Hasn't
we
been
could be
all
getting
know-
Gambit and Wolverine, and you know.
Now we all know. I mean, we all know that in Doctor Strange though that was a one-off. Like it's unfortunate because
Maybe
people-
for Professor X because
Wait,
the
what was
actor.
the one off?
the multiverse and
The thing about it, like
Illuminati.
they did have
They're
Reed
all-
Richards, and they showed them, and they're a part of the overall.
Just
those are
Amplification.
the actors those actors are not going to play the roles again though.
Mhm.
Like that was a one-off. We know it.
I get that
There'll be
part,
another
but they
Illuminati,
just
though.
teased it. They showed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That there will be another.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
if there's like a 616 Illuminati or whatever MCU is now. But if there's an Illuminati that's gonna form, it's gonna take a while for that to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be down the line. That's gonna be in what was it, season 3 of the MCU?
Season 3,
Yeah.
phase 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I wonder how they're going to tie up the story in this. Also,
God, look at that
you know, to
suit.
the story of Chadwick, like
Who's
Oh,
that?
wait.
with
let
his
me,
unfortunate passing.
I wanted to speak on the
almost worried about
Atlanta Wakanda
Yeah.
relationships. So, not saying too much, but Wakanda and Atlanta have a history going back. They definitely had they have like political agreements. They do trade. Wakanda, I think Atlantis has vibranium that they trade with Wakanda.
I could see that. Maybe like the piece that broke
or at some
off.
point
In the
like that.
comics?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought that was what made
It's not much, but like
kind
at
of
the same,
special.
Yeah,
That
no,
they were the
Wakanda
ones with it.
vibranium is indigenous to
but because
Because
of a
Atlanta-
because of a comet that
Atlantis,
hit,
Atlanta,
right?
because
Yeah,
right.
Atlantis is away from the rest of the world, right? They're also a hidden civilization, just like Wakanda is.
Mhm.
In that way, they are kind of on par on having like political relationships.
it's when Namor first appears, it's pretty much like you were saying, like Namor versus the world, right? Like Namor is like Atlantis is superior because in the comics Namor is a mutant. Like Namor is like Atlantis is superior. Magneto's like, that's right.
right.
And like- it's like finally. No, but he's like, Atlantis is superior. I'm going to take over the land dwellers. I'm going to take over the world. And then you have people like the Fantastic Four and Black Panther who work closely together, stopping that from happening. And then Namor's like, you know what, y'all are pretty cool. And they're like, yeah, you know, you're not so bad yourself. And so Namor's like, I'll chill if we can work together. And everybody's like, okay.
Right. Stop dumping shit in my oceans.
Team up.
Yeah. Hey, I will say I wish we had more still shots, but Namor looks dope. Actually. Namor does look so dope when he's floating there. And yes, the ankle wings do flap. But it doesn't matter.
This is a little bit of a you haven't seen this probably. But
this trailer I've seen. Oh, we mean what's coming up next?
The next one. But it's from the new trailer, but it's not too much. It's not giving away anything we don't already know. Okay. Boom.
Oh, so I've seen this. I've seen this in the first trailer. This was in the first trailer.
It was the first trailer.
Yeah, this was in the first trailer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So D, you were about to talk about like what they're gonna do with Chadwick's
right,
like passing and everything, and how they're gonna tie all this up.
How will they deal with that? I mean, will it be a case of he's out of the country right now? I always imagine Killmonger coming back and reclaiming the role, right? Because did he die at the end of Black Panther?
I always said we never actually see it happen. My man, it has the power of the heart-shaped herb still in him. He's in Wakanda.
Right. There's a situation.
In Wakanda.
They can do whatever they want. He can come back.
They can bring him back to life, basically.
That's what I said.
The vibranium part.
That's what I said. Like they could bring him back if they wanted to. It's just retconning. All right, and he more naturally fits the role. He's of royal blood. His royal lineage to the actual throne of Wakanda. He had a rightful claim to the throne. It just makes sense, all right? Like we know the actor, we know the character, he fits the parts. I'm not saying Shuri is not going to be that, right? Because she was one of the best parts about the first movie, but I don't know who's going to. I just think that trailer can be misleading. Is she going to really take up the mantle of Black Panther?
I see her taking on that role.
Yeah, I kind of don't either.
Her personality, right?
Yeah.
I agree with you. I was gonna say I don't think she's strong enough. Like I don't think she's strong enough, like personality wise, physically, whatever.
And also, did she undergo the ritual that the Black Panther mantle is supposed to be passed to? I mean, can she be the Black Panther? You know what I mean?
Well, it's
because don't they have to? What do they do to him? No,
they just feed him the heart shape herb.
Right.
Anyone can have that.
Yeah.
And
can she survive that process?
To me, it's not about her strength necessarily because she's very strong as well. I mean, she's a person that can heal others. She's strong and she's creating technology to keep everyone alive. But her role and how she looks at things has always been kind of like
support.
Mm-hmm. Taking the role of the details, paying attention to the details, down to his sneakers.
So down to the sneakers. So that's why. Sorry,
no,
some sneakers were tight.
So I was gonna say, like, that's why I think ultimately, as cool as it would be to see like Killmonger back, ultimately the only person who can ever really be the Black Panther is
Nakia.
She could
it's
T'Challa.
She could be the Black Panther.
She can be the Black Panther temporarily. There have been temporary Black Panthers.
Yeah. I see what you're saying because his lineage is from father to son.
Right. He inherited the role. He's trained for his whole life. He is the Black Panther.
So how are they going to retcon this? What do we?
It's not about a retcon because we all know this is a funeral procession.
Yeah.
This is a funeral procession, so they're going to kill
for
T'Challa. They're going to kill off the character.
Are they going to CGI him in like they did?
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah. They made Tarkin look good in Rogue One. He did look good.
No, that would be a mistake. This man, the actor is too dead. Soon. Like it's no way. Mm-hmm. Like no, that would be such poor taste.
Yeah.
But like this is a funeral procession. That's why it's like have you guys been seeing that like there's been like on like Black Twitter, right? Like everybody's been saying like, yo, when we go see this movie, everybody dress in white because it's funeral colors.
Oh, I know now.
So someone explain that. Funeral colors.
White people wear black people wear white.
I didn't know that was a thing.
White signifies life. So it's about it's more about a celebration of their life like a funeral is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But white signifies life. That's why in like Black culture also, the godmother of a child wears white.
Always think of Ori
in
Shah
like
and,
like a baptism or like what do you call it? There's like another word for baptism, but like a coronation, a christening. Yeah, christening. The godmother will wear white.
Word?
Yeah. So that's a thing.
Is this like a religion?
This is like, so when you think like
it's more cultural.
Or you think Santeria, like these are they are multi-deity religions, right? But they really have a lot of roots in like Christianity. Mm-hmm. So these are those cultures or those kind of religious practices do wear a lot of white in their rituals, right? That's why I think that's part of the reason I would be like, okay, well that would make sense that they would be wearing white, because like usually the higher ups in those traditions would wear white during their, I don't know what they're called, like events, whatever they're having, right?
So it's more it's I think it's more of like along the line. Sorry, were you finished?
Well, like and like so, because like the Judeo-Christian religion sees like death as such a bad thing. That's why we wear a lot of black in like Christian. Like I would say even more than like just like it's a Christian thing, because black or death is the end,
darkness,
bad,
black,
right?
Yeah.
Whereas in other cultures,
they were
if
white.
You believe in like
it's about celebrating life,
the life, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what white. That's what wearing. That's what the color white signifies. That's why everyone here is wearing white, because this is a funeral.
They believe in the afterlife, and I think they do believe in reincarnation. Also, it's like
this.
I don't remember us wearing in Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't think we wore a color.
I always thought colors was symbolic, great, but you never had to wear it, you know. But I can see what they look great.
But this is good. But this is a funeral. This is everyone's wearing white. This is a funeral.
She looks awesome, right?
She does.
She looks sad.
And then the eye makeup also. You're right. It matches the suit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is a funeral. So we all know. So they're gonna kill off. So they're gonna kill off T'Challa.
I'll be like, leave those on. Leave those on.
Frank,
and one more thing I want to point out about this trailer: Angela Bassett looks so good still. How old is Angela Bassett, man? I don't even know, man.
The earrings.
The earrings that she has on right now.
She's probably vegan. Someone Google that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a still shot of her.
I'm gonna do it.
Can I show you guys? I wish we had one to pull up, man. She just looks so good. Like she looks
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, it does.
Dude,
she works out.
In that first trailer, yo, her speech,
60?
she's almost 70.
Yeah,
yo, her speech ran through me.
Yeah.
She just
looks good.
She was like, I have lost every single member of my family.
How old is she?
It was an option. Is Angela Bassett vegan? Like, it was an already option. Okay.
She looks so good. I can believe it.
She's almost
mostly
70.
Loves raw food and vegan options.
Yeah,
bro. She looks so muscular and toned.
She's almost 70.
Yeah,
like she
just
like,
looks great.
Like that, and she still can, like, she was like acting. You know, she's like when she had that speech, she's like, I've lost every single member of my entire family, and I'm like, ah. And she's like, I am expected to still be the leader of a sovereign people. And I'm like, ah. I'm like, just keep speaking, because like I was just like, oh my god, that speech, it ran right through me.
There's a shot in the trailer where they show Namor talking to Angela Bassett's character. What's her character's name?
Amanda.
Yeah, and he's walking up on her. So I'm imagining that scene is going to be where they explain what the conflict is between the two, civilizations, right? Like what's happening.
I'm sure the conflict would have already like come to a certain point where.
And Frank, the way he walks up on her, you're like, he's not threatening, but he looks menacing, right?
I've seen stills of it. Yeah, I've seen stills of it. Like he's basically like right here.
I'm thinking to myself, like Namor, one thing, you better not touch her. And then two things, I'm like, I see he looks dope. He looks dope. I'm like, don't you touch her. You put your hands on her.
Like he got uncomfortably close to her. I
was like, okay, he's trying to be threatening, but he ain't going to do
like this.
Yeah, like, you what? You better back up.
What you doing, bro?
Yeah, no, like, yeah, man. Like, I'm super excited. I really just hope that the movie delivers. It's gonna be like one of the biggest movies. It's the biggest movie.
And that's the problem. That's the dilemma, right? We hope that the movie delivers. We've been excited before, all of us, whether it's Marvel or whatever, the Last Jedi or whatever it was. Was it the the Jedi, the Return of the not
Rise
the
of
Return
Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. No, the one before that, the Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
I'm still upset.
Disappointment.
I'm still upset. I'm still upset. But the trailer looked so dope. The trailer made it look like, oh my god, this movie. And then you saw the movie and you were just like,
I feel
really?
like even if they don't deliver, it's still us.
It's still going to be an event. Yeah,
It's
still
still-
going to be an event. It's still for the
us
culture.
And it's Marvel, and
Mhm.
it's, you know what I mean. It's
like
still,
it's never
Yeah.
as good the second time.
That's why.
Never as the
But
first time.
it's like that's why we all still need to go see it, despite how you might feel about what they're doing with T'Challa's character, despite what you think about what your opinions about the movie, about like because she's like your political viewings or whatever, because she's like anti-vax, and so it's like a lot of people don't like that.
Off that image alone, though,
Yeah.
this image is just so
It's
like,
beautiful.
perfect.
Yeah, it's
like,
a beautiful image.
That is so like perfectly shot. The color scheme is amazing.
Yeah,
like
it's a beautiful image. I mean,
fantastic.
that's
Like this movie, regardless of whether the story delivers or whatever, it's going to be shot and it's going to be beautiful.
like you said, it's going to be us. Like that's why everybody should go see it, despite whatever you might think about it.
That point, though, is that it's not our culture.
no.
It's what
But we still feel something very strongly about it
it's a
Because of the
projection
symbology
of
in
what
the
we
movie.
would love for our culture
to
to
be.
be.
This is the biggest chance. This is the biggest chance that we've ever gotten as a culture to be seen, really be seen. Like really
As
be seen
characters and
Wakanda's
not-
our
as
Olympus.
characters that are not drug dealers or
Uh-huh.
gangbangers or less than or playing white savior or
Mhm.
black savior.
Mhm.
Or a magical Negro.
Yeah.
That's
like
why I feel the character of Killmonger was so strong from the
Yes.
first one, right? Because
Yes.
he had a great point, man. You are one of the most technologically advanced and richest countries on the earth, right? Why are you not helping black people overall?
But he
in the
also
general.
didn't want to help
but he
black
but he
people.
also
No, he did. He
wanted
just
to
wanted to do it by
conquer.
fear.
He wanted to do it by force.
He wanted to use aggression to do it, and that's not
So
what.
that's where he was wrong.
He was wrong, but
Yeah.
his point was right.
No, his point was valid, extremely
and I'm
valid.
like, he can take over that mantle, and I think overall more so than the black culture. This is important for the nerd culture, right? This is important for the MCU overall. This is a very important movie. I was telling you
is an
pre-cast.
important-
This
you said
has
it
to
right
set up
now,
an
yes.
overarching threat of the MCU. Like there needs to be some tie-in, going from like the Eternals, the Shang-Chi, and all the Doctor Strange. There's no tie-in, right? Like, that's why I was talking about
Not anymore.
yeah.
This
That's why I was talking about
tie into the last.
Professor X or
This
even
is-
Reed
this is
Richards.
This is the end. This is the end of Phase 4. Like this
Okay.
movie is the end of Phase 4. So
Yeah, I
after
can
this,
see
Phase
that,
5
yeah.
will begin.
But I just hope there's some overarching threat of what's happening here amongst the MCU to
There might be
Disseminating the
no,
guacamole.
to get us excited about what's happening next, right? Like what's beyond this movie? Like is it Black Panther 3 or do we get,
Well, this movie
Killmonger 1 off
This
of
movie's setting up a whole lot. We have a new Black Panther now. Whoever it may be, we have a new Black Panther. We have Ironheart. She's going to be in the movie now, and we have Namor, which sets up a whole lot more. So I think just by Namor being here,
Namor looks
it's
dope.
going to set up so much afterwards, right? Fantastic Four is huge in Marvel. He's going to set them up, right? And then Doctor Doom comes in, and we keep going. They might even show Doctor Doom in the post credits scene, if anything.
We already got a Doctor Doom.
Because if
to
we have
compare it to.
Namor, we know the Fantastic Four are not far behind, and Doctor Doom is a big part of that.
What was your most memorable moment, Frank? I'm asking you first. What was your most memorable moment from Doctor Strange from the latest movie?
Most
from the
memorable
latest
moment?
Most memorable moment. I know this is kind of off the way. It's the
Oh,
moment you think when you think about that movie, you're like,
I know exactly.
what was yours, Juice?
When he had the demon cloak and the zombie Doctor Strange was jumping over to the going to the final
Honestly,
fight. I'm sorry, that was dope.
That
man.
was
The demon
dope.
Honestly,
cloak.
for me, my most memorable moment, besides the loser Illuminati getting wasted, but my most memorable moment that was
It was visually dope. Yeah,
the music battle at the end. I love that. That was just really unique.
That was cool.
That was
cool.
super unique.
I thought both of y'all were gonna say that moment when we saw that yellow wheelchair.
Oh,
rolling
well,
around,
yeah.
and you saw that zoom in, or you were like, I sat up in my chair, bro. I was like, I know who that is, bro.
But you know what?
I was like, yo.
You know what? Like, not to harp on that moment though. But they showed him in the trailer.
They did, but they showed him to us.
Well, they had his voice. They had his voice in the trailer. And you see, this is why we don't watch trailers before movies.
Yeah.
This is why we don't watch trailers. Because you were shocked.
I was
you
amazed,
were surprised.
I was like,
this is why I want to be surprised. I saw the first trailer to this, and I was like,
it's just the fact that they showed him to us in the movie, moving and talking, and his character was there, even if it was a separate universe.
It was absolutely fantastic.
It was just good, man. I was like,
I just
think about the possibilities, man. Wolverine, Jubilee, Cyclops, like away from the X-Men movies they did.
It was fantastic to see all of them, but that's why I really hate what happened next.
Yeah, I know. But it was a separate universe.
Like,
it was a separate universe. They can bring it back.
Wanda really that black
all of the Black Bolt
thing
part
pissed me so off so badly.
It was all just really like horribly done.
They blew his head off, bro. Spoiler alert. I'm sorry, but it was crazy. I was like, what?
Really?
That's why, like, you bring all these, like, you bring Reed Richards, Professor X, Black Bolt, Captain Marvel, Captain Carter. I'm like, yo, let's go, Captain Carter.
Look, I was just thinking about the possibilities, right? Because they're working on a Wolverine game, like in the same kind of universe that the Spider-Man game was in, right? Like, and then you see Professor X rolling around in the wheelchair, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
no, that joint looks. It's only like a little trailer right now.
Spider-Man games.
Yo,
like his claws pop out.
Dope. I did go back and replay that joint.
Yeah, but. It just excited me when I saw that wheelchair, man. Thank God. My God, what are we doing here?
Yeah, no, like that was great, but that's why it's like they kill them all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did kill them.
They kill them all. It's just like you had. This was your chance. This was literally your chance to keep the.
I'm kind of glad they did almost, because I don't think they should have brought back the character of Professor X, because his ending was so poetic in Logan. You know, it was just like so brutal and hard to watch.
Very upset.
And it was emotional.
Very,
and it was just like,
upset. Yeah.
Why's that?
Yeah.
What's that?
First of all, you don't kill this man this way.
Yeah,
that's what made it amazing.
It was so messed up.
That's what made it amazing, though. It's like,
ow.
He thought it was Logan. His guard was down and everything, you know? Like, he's a Logan. And then like, even the audience, you're like, you know,
it was slow. It was slow. It's just like, and then the claws just like come out so slow. I'm like,
ah! And then even everything around it, like he's killing the family and killing the kid and whatnot. I'm like, oh my God, he's murdering everybody, man.
Yeah.
It was brutal, man. And I thought they shouldn't have brought back his character. But now that they killed him, I can see why they did it.
I didn't buy
because they can recast. They can recast
again.
I didn't buy him having a child thing, even though they created it.
His daughter?
Yeah.
I would have not been at all.
So that's in the comics.
So whole thing.
If she took over the mantle,
she's her in the comics. Her name is now Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was made directly from his DNA. She is Wolverine. Yeah. You know what I mean?
She's essentially Wolverine.
She is him. That is his daughter. You know. So yeah, I mean, like, I would not have been mad if I don't know why they haven't brought that actress back to play another Wolverine. Like,
that's Fox.
Yeah,
different universe.
But she was so good at the role. Like, she was vicious and yelling.
Right, I don't know if you guys want to switch over.
No. Hang on. There's a couple
Even
more
though
things.
It's not on topic, because I do want to talk about the Deadpool trailer.
See, I didn't see that trailer. I'm with Frank.
You didn't see it?
I didn't watch it because everybody told me
it's not a trailer.
It's
It's not a trailer.
Teaser.
It's not even a teaser. It's just a conversation.
I never saw Deadpool 2. I saw bits and pieces. I've never seen it all the way through. I didn't like that. It wasn't really my style of comedy. It was like raunchy and look at my dick and all this. You know, it was funny.
Yeah,
did you see Deadpool?
That happened?
Did you see Deadpool?
So I think I saw the first one.
Yeah. Did you see the book?
So it's
Question: did that happen?
It's the actor. I'm not
Ryan Reynolds.
I'm not a huge fan.
I can see that too. Yeah,
I get it.
But just the comedy in the movie, it's not like
it's like
because
it's
Ryan Reynolds plays himself. Ryan Reynolds plays himself in every single movie he's in. So
it's not acting. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's fair.
The fans.
That's fair. No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. He gets on my nerves sometimes, but I feel like Deadpool.
I like that he's
is a really good fit for him.
I also don't like that they used him in 2 different Marvel movies.
He doesn't really count as the Deadpool and Wolverine.
Which Marvel?
He was in Origins.
Origins. That's right. He was in Origins. That's right.
They killed him. You know, I'm willing to forgive it. You know what I'm saying? He's dead. Yeah.
And he was the same character.
Yeah,
it's just
he was, but no, people gave him crap because his mouth was sewn closed in Wolverine Origins or whatever.
Well, not just that.
And it's like, why would you sew Deadpool's mouth closed?
It was not just that, but like he was like Ryan Reynolds. You know,
Yes.
like he was like
That's
he was like
that's
Ryan
exactly.
Reynolds.
Ryan
Like
Reynolds with 2
Deadpool.
swords.
I mean,
Right.
you know, Deadpool has the same healing factor as Wolverine,
Yeah.
but like
I thought it was more potent than Wolverine.
No, Deadpool has like mad forms of cancer. So
didn't Deadpool's
the healing
head get
factor
severed or something? And so I was like, I don't know.
yeah, he can heal from that.
Yeah.
As
It's
long as
crazy.
it's
I thought
close
his
enough.
was yeah.
But now Deadpool has like severe forms of cancer, so his body is constantly healing itself. That's why he looks the way he does.
Right.
Because the cancer's killing him, but the body's healing at the same time, so he looks fucked up as a result.
There's a point in the bringing it back to Black Panther 2. There's a point in the trailer where this water is flooding into what looks like Wakanda.
All right, that was
the
my
throne
prediction.
room.
I
The
didn't
throne
see
room.
that.
It looks like it's flooding in. I'm like, so
Wakanda's
is half of Africa underwater, or is it just Wakanda? How does he get the water to Wakanda?
I think that's straight up Namor, because it looks like, because in the first trailer it looks like in the scene after that there's like a blue faction of the Dora, and then the red ones that we know, and I'm not sure if like that blue faction are antagonists at that point, but it looks like they're going against either the Atlanteans or the Red Dora in the throne room that's flooded. So I'm excited to see that part too.
Me too. And
well.
I don't know which factions are from whose, but I hope that the political ties between the different clans in Wakanda are strengthened in this movie. You know, the one thing I hated about the first Black Panther was how they were warring at the end. Like, well, why are you guys going to war against each other? You know what I mean? Like, you guys should be working together. But I get it. I
think that was just straight up third act Marvel corporate saying, like,
we need a big battle. Yeah, we need
Let's just have all the black people fight.
Yeah, like, why are we warring? Like, this is the first movie where we have, prominent superhero, characters that are.
Let's have them all work together.
Yes, and be together and strengthen ourselves.
And then Marvel corporate will be like, "Where's the threat?
Yeah, where's the you don't have a battle?
Where's the threat?
You mean this ends peacefully? You're like, what the fuck is this? Can't have that." But
I do think it should have just been T'Challa versus.
But they did come together at the end.
Yeah, they did.
They did. After they killed a couple thousand of each other.
I'm gonna send out the weak
Namor is definitely flying through Wakanda, and it looks like he's flooding. He's in the throne room and all this stuff. So, is the last battle? Is Wakanda going to get destroyed again?
Wings, man.
Hey, there was one part.
Like
the ankle wings are flapping, but he looks so badass. It can be done, dude.
So that I didn't see. Oh my god!
Man of Steel. Even in like Justice League and all that. You look at Batman coming in with the cape, like in the suit. It's already like you're in a suit. The actor is in a suit. He got this hood, but then the cape is like, what's up with the cape? I can see Batman because it lets him glide and all that stuff, But Superman, you kind of don't need a cape. Intimidation. But he doesn't need the cape to fly.
He's like this.
Batman's a human. When Batman jumps off a skyscraper, he needs something that's going to parachute him kind of down to the ground and allow him to fly.
Superman has that cape.
Superman does not need that cape
because he's gorgeous.
Black Adam doesn't need it.
Exactly. It's intimidating.
Shazam doesn't need his cape.
I'm wearing this cape because it's lovely.
Shazam does not need that little shoulder cape.
None of y'all can do a damn thing about it. Not you. Not you.
But he don't need
not
it.
You.
But he don't need
you.
High heels.
Because I can. Because I can.
But he don't need it. He don't need that cape. He don't need it. Hey, did Zod need a cape at the end of Man of Steel?
Wasn't he wrapped in his cape when they
when he came to Earth.
Yes, he was wrapped in his cape.
He was wrapped in his cape. That's when he came to Earth. Yeah,
it's fine. If
you need a reason,
I mean, yeah, if you take that to the Fortress of Solitude and hang that up, it's a memento. You don't need it. You don't need it. You use it for yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'll let Lois wrap us up.
I mean, it was literally like his blankie, like his security blanket.
All right, I'll let Lois. Hey, Lois, you cold? You can have my cape.
Unfortunately, this cape weighs like 1,000 pounds.
Right.
That's a special cape from his world.
Yeah, that's why it's indestructible, like he is.
I'm looking at this scene where something transformed and blast into the sky, and I don't know what it's blasting after. It doesn't quite look like an Iron Man suit, but I think
it's Ironheart. Whoever you might be.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a bug. Like there's some wings that fold from the back, and like I wish we had a still of it, man. But it's definitely blasting up towards some rocket ship or something in the air.
Are we rolling deep to this movie? That's the question.
We should. I think they already got their tickets. Y'all already got it.
Yeah, we already got tickets.
You have tickets already?
Yeah,
I work at night.
Tickets went on sale like 3 weeks ago.
I can go. I guarantee there'll be tickets.
We have to now purchase them ahead.
Well, Maybe I'd have pushed it a little bit harder if you'd have watched the trailer and said something. But Steph didn't even look at the trailer.
You know what I started doing recently?
I can't get you back here because I was the one that told them when tickets went on sale. I was like, yo, tickets went on sale today. Like, get them.
You know, I guarantee
Let's
there'll
talk
be
about how
tickets
you
at 10
didn't
a.m.
even think to invite me.
Oh.
Because you ain't want to see it?
You don't know that. So there.
You probably wouldn't
There we go.
But it's okay. Either way.
I mean,
So, like,
there'll be tickets
me and
available.
Claudine are going.
Mm-hmm.
There might be seats in the theater. We're going to the Alamo in Woodbridge.
Yeah. Going at
I don't really want to go to
Come on down to Woodbridge, guys. Come on down. You know what I'm saying? We
I
got the Alamo. There's no Alamo.
I would have already seen it at Tyson's IMAX the day before, but we're going at the same time on the 11th.
I'm definitely gonna see it.
Someone cares about me.
It's not a problem. You know, man, one thing is like I want to know what this suit is, what it's blasting after, and you know, I want to know where the stakes are going to go in this movie. Hopefully, there's an overarching threat that goes beyond the story of Black Panther 2. We need. That's what I said. This is important for the nerd culture, right? Like,
I think Namor is.
Don't you guys miss the days of yore where like we were excited for Marvel movies, right? You know, yesteryear and all that, right? Like every Marvel movie, not just a Black Panther movie. That's important for the Black culture as well, but like the overall nerd culture, like these were big movies, man. Like they were taking us on comic book odysseys with movies. You know what I mean? And like you had to see the next movie to understand.
Let me say, guys, like,
and this is
I
important
know
for
you guys
that.
have your doubts, but I'm a true believer. I believe in Marvel.
I do too. They have my loyalty.
Doing is going to work out.
They have my loyalty,
and we will appreciate it.
I think it's direction.
I think it's Frank. He's a doubter.
I think it's directionless.
Even Thomas doubted. All you gotta do is sit in that theater and put your finger in the screen.
I'm a doubter and I'm a hater at this point, dude. Like I'm a hater at this point because what the fuck are they doing with Phase 4 now?
It's directionless.
It's absolutely directionless.
Yeah, and
there was no plan.
Movie is important.
There was zero plan. She-Hulk just ended. Did you watch She-Hulk? Anybody watch She-Hulk?
I watched the first 5.
Yeah.
I need to watch the last 3.
So She-Hulk just ended.
Hold on, no spoilers.
I wasn't gonna spoil it.
She's gonna like, she's so awesome.
I'm not the one known for that in this group.
Oh wow!
Ugly D's not.
I don't spoil stuff. Do I spoil shit? No, I don't think so. She-Hulk though.
With her face, judging by her face, I think she thinks you are the one that spoils things.
I might have spoiled 1 or 2 things a long time ago, but She-Hulk.
So I actually was not interested in seeing this movie at all. It
Black
just
Panther
so
or She-Hulk?
She-Hulk. My child was like, "Mom, you want to?" I was like, "Fine." You know what I mean? No, Cyrus.
Oh. You would like that kid.
So when I watched it, I was like, "Oh shit, okay." Like it wasn't bad.
It's entertaining.
It wasn't bad.
I got Claudine to watch the first 5 episodes with me when we're putting this together.
It's entertaining.
It took us 5 episodes to do that.
Oh wow!
It
is new. I knew it. I'm like, this wasn't here before.
It was complicated.
Hey Juice, I just did want to say while we're on it, like if you notice your headband disappear and end up on my forehead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, same with the Black Panther Spidey and Friends figure. That's gonna be gone.
I'm gonna come over here wearing that joint next time. I'm like, yo, where's my headband?
Hey, we get that.
No, it's tight.
I was like, yo, can I come back over? I forgot something.
So yeah, and I guess
didn't watch the trailer.
I guess that's why Phase 4 might be suffering, right? Is because they're trying to pump up Disney Plus and give us the story of Phase 4 through these shows on the platform, which makes sense for a business, but it's not as overall exciting as going to the movie. These events
too much. They're doing too much too fast. They need to slow down. They needed to slow down since Endgame
and make it mean.
They really
something.
did.
Yeah,
there has been a lot of
prediction on that though.
Do you know next year alone they're gonna have 4 movies and 5 TV shows in 1 year?
I love the show.
Why?
I do. I like that too.
Yeah, it is too much.
That's way too much. Like, look, nobody cares anymore about like. Why don't you just have like the way you were doing it? Give us content that you build towards, that you actually work towards, that we can get
excited about.
Exactly, that we can get excited about. Have something every couple of years versus 9 pieces of media to absorb in 1 year.
It's a lot
with no plan before it. With zero plan before it.
Because they have a streaming service they have to maintain.
That's why they need content, and I think they do a great job of.
I think the shows like.
And you think that's a good thing?
If it wasn't for between Andor and Kenobi,
Andor looks
the
dope.
Star Wars stuff. Yeah.
I can't even watch all of it.
She-Hulk
It's just too
and
much.
Moon Knight. There's no reason to watch Disney Plus.
So
Hawkeye also came out this year, right?
Hawkeye too.
This
There's
has
no
been
reason
very
to watch it
irritating
if
to me
these
on
don't
Disney
keep coming
Plus.
out.
this has been
Because
very irritating.
they have old stables.
Look, I
which
get
are
that.
Sit there.
I get
you
that.
can watch Homeward Bound 4 times,
I get that.
but you only
Is that
go
on
so
there?
many times.
I get.
Oh, I need
It
to
is.
watch
Yeah, it is. It is. It took a while before it came on there, but it's on there now. Homeward Bound is one of my favorite movies ever. Oh God. Like especially when Sassy
Shadow.
when she got in the water. Oh my God,
Girl.
Shadow really tried, dude. Like he tried so hard to save her. God, that broke my heart.
Yeah, of course.
Why did you join their moment?
Oh, didn't Shadow get hit by a porcupine in that joint? Like,
Oh,
yeah.
No, that
it
was
was
Chance.
Chance.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
But-
man, that was a movie.
But nah, dude, like that's I get that. I get that it's about marketing and you have to keep the streaming service alive. But that is a clear indication of quality suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're taking those
Because
resources from the
you're just
cinematic
like-
and moving it.
You're
to
just
the,
like, oh, let's put everything about all these characters that no one gives a shit about. No one
So,
gives a shit about Moon
Why
Knight.
not bring
Don't
in
give a
more
shit about
old
She-Hulk.
movies? I would love to see
You
more
gotta
old
watch
movies.
Moon Knight. Didn't you give a shit about
Of
Moon
course,
Knight?
of course.
Super compelling.
Of course,
I have not seen it.
The series was great.
Yeah.
The series was great, but no one cares about
I think
Moon
you'd be
Knight.
better
no one
off
cared about
introducing
So
Moon
Moon
you're
Knight.
saying if they introduce him in the movie, people
I think that'd be
more
better. I think it would
apt
be.
to watch him in a show,
Yes.
Yes.
I think it would be. Look how Black Panther
or
took
feature
off.
him in future movies.
just over time, not
Over-
now.
Yes, just not now, not in this fashion. Not with the TV show that could possibly be a one-off, and you know it. You
No.
know it could possibly be a one-off.
But they already picked season 2. They got season 2 up,
I admit it's
and
just
also
way
the
too
way
much
it ended,
content.
they got to do
Mhm.
season 2. Anyway, like what I'm saying is that like I think that it's going here. My prediction for this is that they may not tie all of these into the movies. So the same thing they're doing with Star Wars right now, but they have the Star Wars movie franchises, and they have Star Wars series on the side,
TV shows.
which won't touch. They don't touch.
But they
Timing
expand the
is
overall
different,
universe.
Different points in history, all the stuff is different, but they're telling compelling stories. They're building the universe, and it's for the fandom. And to develop a fandom, you have to have good, consistent content for the fans to keep for them to build off of.
So the key words are good and consistent.
Yes,
Good.
which I feel
And
like
consistent.
Marvel
Good and
has
good
been
and
pretty
inconsistent.
reasonable with good and consistent.
Maybe
Better with consistent.
They've
than good.
been so I
What
will
was
I
bad?
will agree.
But I haven't
will
watched
agree-
it. I'm
Hawkeye.
I
totally
will agree that
unspoiled.
they've been sticking the landing on a lot of the
Okay,
stuff.
what was
But-
bad?
Other than Hawkeye.
The Eternals was not good.
Well, that was the movie.
That was
I
the
haven't
movie.
even seen it. I haven't even seen
You're
it.
talking about just the TV show.
What was not
right?
good
I'm
about the
talking about
Eternal
TV
steps?
I was bored.
Oh, Eternals was extremely terrible.
I
It was
didn't
just
like it.
don't
That was
bother.
unfortunate, but that's only because Angela Jolie was in there. They tried to go too much for star power over storytelling.
She
Story.
didn't even
And
play a
also,
role much. She
Eternal
said,
story has so much you gotta do. They really compressed that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? I wonder. It seems like what they're doing with literally everything else.
Except instead of 2.5 hours in a show, you get
6 to 9 episodes.
hours.
To
Okay.
expand
So
the
now
world and
Expand the
So,
absorb
world,
the
also-
characters.
build characters, and create even little side. Like
Mhm.
one thing about anime, which is good, is they give you opportunities to go on these little side quests with these
Yep.
characters and help you develop a relationship with the characters outside of the main storyline.
Dude, I was
They
watching
run to
Samurai
the beach
Champloo.
every 6
so
episodes.
good.
I was watching Samurai
Why?
Champloo recently.
I
It
don't
was
know,
so dope.
but it's fun.
That was
I
one
don't
of my
want to
first
watch
anime
like
experiences.
5-minute shorts on anything.
So, but think about
You
that. Think
No,
about
I
that
don't.
logic, though. Think about that logic, though. You're gonna have a TV show that has 6 hour-long episodes of mediocre content. That means you have a 6-hour movie, that's mediocre at best. Versus, why don't you spend a little bit more time developing said property? Maybe condense it down to about 3 to 4 hours, and give the fans and give us everything that we actually want. Good character development, good story, a plot, great action. Because TV shows be damned, they're still under a budget, and the budget is never nearly as big as a movie budget ever.
At all. Because the movie's a one-off.
ever.
The TV show has
So
the
all
same
of these
stuff.
TV shows featuring these big time actors, they pay the actors and they got nothing left.
And they're not putting the production value into the actual show.
No, the budget. There's nothing left in the budget. You're paying like you have Falcon and Winter Soldier. You're paying those dudes like 15-20 million each.
And Angelina
and you got
Jolie
nothing.
had 0 lines in the movie. She had like 1 line.
Yeah, she was still
In Eternals, yeah, she didn't speak much.
I think the last
They did make her important somehow,
I think
though.
the issue is that I am like partial to shows over movies. That's
fair.
my preferred medium.
That's
So
fair.
when I'm sitting in a show, I like the quest. I like the adventure. I like the quest.
You like it to be longer.
I like it to be longer. I like to sit there. It may be an episode a night, and we go on this thing, right?
So
it's like playing a game. You
So-
can't crush it all in 2 hours. You gotta. It's over time.
Somebody said the screen
I
is
agree.
black. Is the screen black? Are we recording right now?
I hope so.
It looks
Somebody
like
said in
it says
the
live.
chat, screen is black. Can't see y'all. Video, question mark. Yeah.
The whole time?
Well, I mean, at least the audio is recording. That's the most important part about a podcast, right?
It's true.
I have a bad connection here.
Yeah. But I think the last Marvel movie that did a great job of expanding
Check
the
camera to
universe.
see if the camera's still.
It's lit up.
Look, expanding the universe from what came before was, and I have to give Spider-Man Far From This was Far From Home. Like, because they kept showing those murals of Tony all around, and like it gave you a call back to the rest of the MCU and what had happened before, what came before.
And funnily enough, that was the true end to Phase 3.
Right, and it's like I thought they were going to pick up Phase 4 and continue the story. Like, okay, this happened, and
I mean,
Thanos came. Have you even heard Thanos' name in Moon Knight? Did they mention Thanos in Moon Knight?
No. Granted.
They mentioned him in She-Hulk.
No.
I mean, that was one of the biggest events that happened in the MCU. I mean, shouldn't this tie in? Did they mention Thanos in Eternals?
What's interesting, and this
They
kind of
did.
goes,
They did.
I imagine they had to.
It
Yeah.
goes back to what you were saying about not really having a plan, because initially when we first met Thanos, he didn't seem like he mattered much.
And are you talking about the post-credit scene in Avengers, or are you talking about like when we first actually met him?
Age of
So
Ultron, he
this
put his
was-
hand in the gauntlet. I was like, yeah.
This was when I noticed it.
Was it Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes, in
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
He just didn't seem that important.
I agree.
Beginning,
I agree with that. I agree
And
with
then
that.
all of a sudden, whoa, he's so important.
I think honestly that was for like all the nerds, right? Like all the nerds like knew who he was. And I feel like from the first Avengers, that post-credit scene, the nerds were like, yo, like, because you knew what this means. If Thanos is in the picture, yo, the world's gonna end. The world's either gonna end or it's gonna be saved.
I don't think they gave a good explanation from the beginning as to
Not
how
for
important his character
casual
was.
fans. No, they didn't. That was just based off of like people's knowledge of like the world.
So for me, it threw me off when all of a sudden
He has all this power.
Yeah, I'm
he
like,
has all this.
whole
So at
time
least they
you
can
had
still
this?
hear us, Juice.
Yeah.
There's 5 watching.
It's
Is that cool? Is that a record number?
It's
5
definitely
watching
something
this?
that
Yeah.
that got lost in translation, because if you're not a fan, if you weren't a fan, you wouldn't have known about like who this purple dude is. Like, who the hell is he?
Mm-hmm.
But like all the people, I think at that point they were like, all the people who have been watching these movies maybe have gone and looked back and seen like, who is this purple dude that keeps popping up, and he's popping up more frequently now. Or they're like, the people who are watching already know who he is, and the implication of him being there is fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
So
to everybody watching online, real quick, I'm sorry.
You good.
We apologize for the video. Might as well go ahead and do that, because I think, how long has this cast been so far? Was it an hour and a half or so?
Nobody saw any of the images.
And I think the video has not been working the entire time. But the most important part of any podcast is the audio and what you're hearing, and the audio is working. All right, so we thank everybody who's out there watching. Hey, I'm glad y'all are here, and you're listening to the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast. Yo, named by I think Steph. Who gave it the yo part? Was it Steph?
No.
Wasn't it Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast? Yo, I can't even remember. Yeah,
the camera's still off.
Wasn't me.
Yeah,
Right.
I think I switched to the
laptop one.
I think so, but that looks.
So we're gonna switch to
the
Kanye
laptop
West,
one is
right?
on. The laptop
What
one
is going on
Yeah.
with Kanye
So I think I
West?
switched the laptop.
We're gonna-
I'll work on it later.
We're gonna switch
Okay.
to Kanye. But any final thoughts? Let's
I
go
thought we
around
were
the
talking
room.
about Black Adam.
Black Adam is dope, but Juice, you know how we do on these casts. I think we need to move to Kanye
Okay, let's
soon.
talk Kanye.
We can mention Black Adam though. Comes out next week. I'm going to see it Saturday, so it's coming. And
next week already.
I cannot wait. I just hope the
Black
DCU does not. He looks. Of course, The Rock always looks dope.
Look,
What does The Rock look dope?
I feel like we need to talk about this.
Okay.
Look,
I feel like we
I
need to
got-
talk about this.
Should I set a timer?
I
10
have
minutes?
thoughts.
The Rock
All
looks
right, 10 minutes.
10
like
minutes.
The
We're
Rock
talking
in
about
every
this.
movie.
All right.
Oh yeah, he plays himself in every movie.
Yes.
Yes.
You want to set a timer? You
And
want me
that's
to do
part
it?
of the problem I have with him.
Mhm.
I have problems with The Rock. I
Yeah.
do.
I'm sorry.
Problems with The Rock.
Well, here, let me say in the
Oh,
last
big
movie,
problems with The Rock.
I
respect him,
cruise,
though.
The cruise with the boat thing, and I forgot what it's called.
What movie? Jungle Cruise?
Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Oh, that was a fun movie. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
And he was pretty good in that jump. He
was still Rock.
He was definitely the Rock.
He was The Rock.
He was the Rock. But he was a compelling Rock in these interesting situations.
See, the thing about The Rock. The thing about The Rock is he's literally like a rock. Like he is
No,
the
okay,
same
okay. Put this back.
throughout. He will not
might be a little bit
not bend. He will not bend. He will not break. He will play the same fucking character in every fucking movie he's in. But
He does look dope
Potential
here.
for him to be a villain in this one.
Anti-hero.
Anti-hero, yeah. Well, that's what Black Adam is. I thought he was.
Black
Someone
Adam?
explain
Yeah.
to me what that means.
Anti-hero.
Yes.
Someone who has their own intentions, who's working under selfish pretenses, but ends up becoming the hero in the end. They end up protecting everybody. Like they don't really want to be seen as a hero, but they are a hero at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Unintentionally.
Like they have their own selfish goals,
He's
but
not a villain.
they end up working to save everyone.
It's not about
He's a
crossing
villain.
the boundary. It's not in the comics. He's a villain.
He's ruthless,
It's not
Yeah,
about
he's
crossing the
ruthless.
boundary. to,
but he does
like,
what's
you know,
right. Same as Killmonger. I might say.
completely not caring about anyone or anything. He has like villains don't have empathy.
You
Or
might kill a
sympathy.
person too.
But anti-heroes like are kind of like skewed more towards the side of heroes,
Do
but they have
villains
selfish
not have
goals.
empathy?
Like Batman doesn't kill, right? Like
No,
Black Adam might
they
kill a
don't have
cop
empathy.
to save a bus of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Villains are generally sociopaths.
Yeah, like they'll
Really?
kill.
Even if
but-
they have the right
Good
message,
ones, good
good
ones,
ones
yeah,
are
good
true
ones, good.
sociopaths. They will go as far as it takes, even if it's the right thing to do. They'll do it. In
They
the
will go
wrong
through
way.
anyone and anything to get to their
So
their
what?
goal.
I mean, what about Negan?
Negan.
And
from
Walking Dead,
Yes.
He's a straight villain. He
He's a
bashed
villain.
in Carl's head.
Is he
Spoiler
really a
alert.
villain?
yes,
He bashed
absolutely.
Carl's head in.
No, he didn't.
Not Carl, but who was
Glenn.
the
Glenn.
Asian guy?
He
Glenn.
Glenn. Yeah, he cracked his head open in front of everybody.
You
But-
thought he was an anti-hero?
Can we say
He ended up becoming an anti-hero.
he's not a villain
He made
anymore?
me stop watching the show.
Not anymore.
That's because Rick Grimes'
But when
character
he
left
showed
the
up,
show, and they needed.
would you say
someone
when he
for the
showed
audience
up, he was
to
a villain?
latch on
He
to.
was a villain.
when he showed up.
He was a villain to them, but was he a villain?
Yes.
To
he
his
killed
own
innocent
people?
people.
Absolutely, he was a villain to his own people. I know what he was doing. I know what he was doing because he was basically like anti-Rick, right? But he was still protecting his people.
Yes.
You know, even though his methods were not orthodox or not the best, but he's a villain. He was definitely an antagonist to the Walking Dead crew, the
Mhm.
crew that we know. But he was absolutely a villain. I
But
feel
he
like
had a reason though.
Oh,
So-
villains
They all
often
have
have
reasons.
reasons.
But
They
his
It's a
but
motive.
they had blown
Terrible.
up his people like twice.
Uh-huh.
They
Yeah.
had killed his people.
He was still wrong.
He didn't kill them first. They actually were the first ones to attack them.
they didn't.
And then he
they
killed
didn't.
everybody.
But did they attack like preemptively, like knowing that they would kill some of his people?
They did it on purpose, yes, because they were trying to make a deal with another community, and
Oh, that's right.
and
That's
the other
right. That's
community
right.
was being run by this by Negan's people. So they went and attacked Negan's people. So I mean, imagine that. So right, I'm just saying, is he really a villain? I feel like this is a good example.
I feel like this comes down to semantics right now, but at the same time, Negan, he was portrayed as a villain, like
Was he?
hands
What was the
down,
good he did?
absolutely.
He did
Well,
a
he
lot
did
of great
bring
things.
How is he?
community
How
of
is he?
people together
So
and
how is
help
he?
them
So
to
how is he a
survive.
hero? How is he an anti-hero?
Same as the governor. The governor was a
So now
good quality.
he wasn't one.
No, not now. Then
Okay.
when he first appears.
By then he had built multiple communities and was keeping everybody alive.
Yeah.
It like without him doing so,
Does that make him a hero?
Okay, is there a potential for a villain to become an anti-hero?
Yeah,
of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
there's
maybe
absolutely redemption.
that might be.
There's
Almost
absolutely
any
redemption.
villain is redeemable
But, like-
outside of like the Joker. Or
But like, does
Is
keep
the Joker?
He's
no,
irredeemable.
the
That dude is
Joker is
mad.
a straight cycle.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Joker is
he's like the
irredeemable.
Mad
He
King.
doesn't know who he is half the time.
He's like the Mad King. That's what we should cover. House of the Dragon. Do you watch Game of Thrones, Frank?
Yes. Ooh,
I
can we
haven't
talk
seen
about
House of
it?
Dragon. I haven't
Okay.
seen
Can
House
we
of
talk
Dragon.
about
I
it?
haven't seen-
Well, they
I haven't
haven't-
seen House of
Juice
Dragon.
hates it.
Right.
Frank hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen
I
it
don't
yet.
hate it. I'm just
Bored.
bored.
Yeah.
Hey,
I was a
do
little
you know
bored
who
too. But
got
I
us
like.
into Game of Thrones?
No.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we watched that at the dude's crib. Right. Yeah, that joint was dope.
And from the first episode, I was hooked and read all the books and everything.
But you know
Yeah.
who would whoop Negan's ass? Black Adam. And, that's why we're here, just to bring it back
Such a
around,
good
guys.
segue.
Like,
Yeah, really,
right.
good segue, man. You just
And,
went it right back.
I'm excited for this movie. I'm excited for the DCU, EU, and hopefully they land this. You know who looked awesome too in their costume? Was Shazam. And Shazam was such a guy. I'm not excited for that movie at all. Shazam 2, whatever it is. Okay, all right.
Yo,
Yeah, he
I
did.
can't even.
He looked awesome in the movie. He looked
Oh,
good.
no.
But
Yo,
I'm
I thought that suit was like so artificially
Even before-
muscular.
Yeah, it did
Like,
look- it
it
did
was
You
look-
have
like-
to always remember that Black Adam's main
That's not fair.
counterpart is this guy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not
like-
fair though,
all
because
right.
The Rock fits. All they had to do was make a like a regular suit for The Rock. They didn't have to stuff it with fake muscles and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
I think those are his muscles.
Yeah, of course.
No,
that's what I'm
these
saying.
are
They-
muscles.
That's what I'm
no,
saying.
he's
They
talking
just had
about
to put on
Shazam.
like
He's
he-
talking about Shazam's suit is like
yeah, look at it.
artificially
It looks
muscled.
puffy. Look at it. I mean, you
look.
can tell.
No,
Like,
he doesn't. It doesn't look like muscle to me.
Him here?
Yeah, that's not muscle.
No, yeah.
No. Well, I know. So this, I don't think this was from the first movie, was it?
I don't know what that is.
All The Rock had to
Because
do
in
was
the first movie, it was like he was just like walking around like this, and I'm like, this
He
dude,
looked good, though.
he's a big
There
dude,
was
but
a
he's not
better
that
picture
muscular.
Of Shazam,
Mhm.
but I definitely feel this is more.
Oh yeah. Like, it's just
all
like-
The Rock didn't have to put on no makeup. Maybe a little makeup, but all he did was put on a shirt and like, yeah, it was like, yeah, he looks like a superhero.
Can
Like,
we
anti-hero.
talk about the thing that you posted on in the group chat the other day?
I don't think
About
I'm in
the-
this
I
group.
remember.
The Snyder Knights and things like that.
So I gotta actually have to. So
I don't
the
think I ever
screenshot
watched it. Was
I
it an
had
article?
Is too small to actually like see.
Boycott
Well,
Black
why don't
Adam.
you just paraphrase for us?
Negative,
Why don't you just paraphrase for the audience?
bro. Negative.
No, so let me pull it up.
No, that's not working. That ain't gonna work.
I will not boycott Black Adam, bro.
Why?
I'm sorry. Let me see if I can pull it
why
up.
did
Maybe
I
I'll
do
read it.
that?
So, this. I mean, I don't want to.
No, you got it.
All right. So basically, God. So basically, people are saying like that The Rock is the reason why Zack Snyder's Justice League and the Snyderverse that would have followed that after like the post-credit scene of that movie. The Rock was the reason why that did not get greenlit, because The Rock wanted Black Adam to be the start of like a Black Adam verse where he's the main hero, and like all of the other people like Dr. Fate and Hawkman and the Justice Society would be like the Justice League in The Rock's version of what he wants his vision to be in the DCEU.
Don't you
So-
kind of need the Rock?
I will argue you do at this point.
Because they're. I'm sorry.
So,
If they're
this is part of the.
losing Cavill, which I don't know if that's confirmed. He said he was done at one point.
Well,
I don't know if they
apparently,
confirmed it back.
apparently it's rumored that he's coming back.
Okay, well,
It's heavily rumored that he's coming back.
Oh, okay.
It's still a rumor,
I might
but
look if they bring Cavill back, then I'm back in because he's a good Superman.
yes, he is.
You need a good Superman, and I gotta say, I'm sorry, guys. This new little Batman guy ain't gonna do it.
Robert Pattinson?
I was so.
He's not gonna be
yes,
Batman.
yes, he is. Yes, he
Not
is.
gonna
He
be
is a
Batman.
fantastic
it.
Batman. He could do it.
He
can do
can't
it.
do it.
I just thought that movie
in
was
that
so
movie-
like disappointing.
In that movie, he is still a young Batman. This is the year 2 Batman.
With Cavill,
But nobody wants to see
No,
a
no.
crime
You have to give
thriller
that time.
Batman.
I'm
We want to
saying,
see
like,
Batman whooping
we're talking
ass.
about like the DC.
He could do way better than Ben
Mhm.
Affleck could.
Did you see the Batman?
Yes, but
Yes.
we know Ben Affleck can be the gritty Batman we want.
Yes.
But
we know that.
But we need Batman to be more than just gritty, because that's all he was. He was gritty and he had money. We need Batman. We need a Batman.
What was Pattinson?
Make him.
He was gritty and he had money.
But what else is Batman?
No,
there was no depth to Pattinson.
What?
He was just, bro, he didn't say anything half the time. He was trying to emote with his face.
Did you watch the same movie?
Makeup. Bro, watch the movie, and I had to apologize to my son for taking him to see that. I was like, well, I'm sorry, Darian, because there was no action in this movie outside of like 2 scenes at the beginning when he beat the guy down with the electro gloves, and then at the end when he saved everybody.
No, what did you?
Other than
You're
that,
talking about a man that gets bored.
you know what I can see this version of Batman being in the Joker movies. Like he would slot right into the Joker, this deep crime thriller that's. It has its music and its emotion, but it's not a lot of action. So I want to see Batman jumping off skyscrapers and using the Batwing and the Batmobile was awesome.
He literally did all of that.
I don't think they did it enough, dog. It was boring. I'm sorry. I was in the Batman and I was bored. And I always judge superhero movies off if I'm bored or not. Am I engaged into the story? And I was tired of seeing Batman being walked into the scene by Gordon. He's just walking Batman through all these police people. They hate him. And then Batman comes in, Pattinson comes in. He doesn't say anything. He's just staring around and the music's hitting in the background. He's looking at the TV. And then he looks over at the thing. I'm like, talk, bro.
So you completely missed that effect. Was that already 10 minutes?
Yeah, that was already 10 minutes. That's why I said we got to set a time for this shit.
I got something I want to say.
Yeah, go ahead. No,
I gotta say stuff.
I was just bored.
No. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so Batman walking into the room. So I'll say the movie was long. It was a little long.
And it was boring.
It could have been cut down maybe 20, 30 minutes. I agree. But, bro, like the whole thing of him walking into the room, you completely missed the fact that like this was him establishing his presence.
Being into detective
He was supposed to be
mode.
creepy. It's supposed to be creepy for everyone in the room, including you. I felt uncomfortable whenever he walked into the room, and I think that was the point.
I did too.
That was the point.
It took me out of it when Gordon escorted him to the crime scene. I'm like, shouldn't Batman just be there?
Because Gordon, to me, it wasn't about being threatening. It was just about being. It's about being. Yes, it's about being like there was like a palpable. I was uncomfortable whenever he was around the cops. Right,
and he wasn't saying anything to put me at ease. So I was whenever he walked into the room and he was just kind of like, looking around, he was in detective mode, but like everybody was kind of like little fidgety, little like, who the fuck? Like this dude looked clearly one thing doesn't belong here. Why's he got that cape?
Like one thing here doesn't belong.
Putting their hand on their gun. I walked in, they put their hand on their gun.
Nah, so like this Batman for me, he was brutal. Like he was gritty, he was brutal. He was the world's greatest detective in this one.
I wanted him to be.
The thing that I appreciated in this movie is that he lost the entire movie. The Riddler was like 3 steps ahead of him.
That's also something I didn't like. Batman's supposed to be smart.
Well, it's because he's starting out. This is his second year.
I don't like my Batman losing over and over.
Yeah, world's greatest detective.
Batman's the world's greatest detective.
That's like his thing. That's his thing.
That's why he's a human who can go up against the likes of Superman,
top of the line,
and
Green Lantern.
Top of the line, mind and
I
body.
find Marvel movies to be a lot more exciting and interesting.
Well, yes, because Marvel movies always go for the low hanging fruit,
and they're like,
hey, we're hey, we have all these people with these crazy colorful powers, and we're funny.
Like Batman's equivalent in MCU is Captain America.
Yeah.
And he's got a shield that doesn't obey the laws of physics. So
and Captain America has the super soldier serum, so he's
who would win, Captain America or Batman?
Captain America.
I think so too. But my loyalty kind of goes towards Batman. He'd figure out a way. Figure a way.
No, Batman is just a man.
Powered beings. Yeah, I mean he holds his own.
And I mean, Batman is the only person the only person in DC that's been able to dodge Darkseid's Omega Beam. The Omega Beam.
What?
Darkseid's Omega Beam? They never miss.
I know we were talking about
the only person in DC universe that's been able to dodge those.
I know we were talking about Black Adam, but real quick on Batman, I wanted it to be gritty, and that scene at the very beginning where he walked up and beat up those guys who were like messing with the kid. Remember they were about to beat up
But
the
what
kid.
about the part? What about the
and he
part
came
right
out and
before
beat the
that?
dude down. I was like, yo, this is about to be John Wick with the cape. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought this
But
was
you
about to be
see-
like that gritty kind of jujitsu kind of movie that were like he was
So,
taking guys down in hand to
What about?
hand.
But what about
And
the part?
like that, the next fight after that fight was the very end, which was dope. The fight was cool, but I was like, where's the action? Besides the
Are you
Batmobile
talking
chase,
about?
where was the action?
Wait. So you mean what about the part where my man just straight up walks into Penguin's club and fights his way in the club and then fights his way out of the club?
But those are
He
grunts.
emphatically says that everything
Like
doesn't have
that,
action.
huh?
And it does.
Those are grunts though.
But you still see Batman doing his thing. What about the part where Batman's clearly taking fucking gunshots, like automatic rifles,
I had problems.
in the dark?
Batman.
That was dope.
Take them many shots.
I like how
The
how he
shotgun took
lit
him
up
out.
with the muzzle fire and the
problem.
shots.
You
Like,
have
yeah.
to stop that.
But the part in the
Like
part in
he
the
ate all
dark,
that shit.
the part in the dark.
Oh,
But I
shit.
mean, like Batman, because like he was a force.
Mhm.
He was a fucking force. Like he was just
He
like
was.
fuck these shots.
I was just
It's like,
bored.
I'm
My
fucking-
bad.
What?
No, dude
Oh my
got like
God.
6 shots, like right.
I was bored. I was like,
It's like, wait,
I
a
can't.
minute.
I can't.
it was more. That movie was more
I
a
can't,
crime
guys.
thriller than a superhero movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
yeah.
was like
Which
a
I think
crime
was
thriller.
effect, but at the same time, I feel like me personally, I had enough of that with Christian Bale, the Christopher Nolan Batman.
What are you talking about? What did you have enough?
It's
of?
more about his
Enough
emotion.
Of the basic, the detective Batman, the guy going through trying to solve crimes, just kind of being a regular dude, and I want to fight. I want him to fight supervillains.
And that
I
was
want
that's
I
what
want him to fight dudes with no
Superman.
cars.
that because Batman needs to figure
I
a
want
way
him to fight
out.
Those guys.
He needs to figure a way beyond it.
But I mean, like,
He has to figure out how
And
to
it's
beat
cool.
that
I
person.
love that part of Batman.
but that's not who. But Batman is not. Batman only fights the superpowered beings when he needs to.
But Batman can fight Croc. He can
You
fight
like-
Wonder.
No, we don't all need him to do that
You
because
feel
he's
like
being.
he's fighting someone you could fight.
Yeah, I can fight.
Like, I could beat up the Penguin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can whoop the Riddler's ass. You know what I'm saying? I can do that.
yeah, man. I feel you too. I was just a little bit bored. I was like, "Where is the cool?" And that was the refreshing thing about Zack Snyder's Batman. What was the guy's name? Ben Affleck. Yeah, because like he was actually hanging with the likes of Green Lantern, and he could hang with Wonder Woman. And, like he had, they showed his technological.
Talk about bored. I was bored by Ben Affleck's Batman. 100%.
He was boring to me as well.
No,
But I think it's Ben Affleck.
I think he was way more menacing than Robert Pattinson.
No.
Because he was already in a role. They could have put anybody in a role as long as we get that Batman.
Right.
Like, I don't care who it is. As long as we
Ben
get that
Affleck's
Batman.
Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah, I want the experienced, old, grumpy, mean. I will beat your
But you
ass.
see,
Billionaire
Too late.
playboy.
But you see-
I'm more technologically advanced than you.
It's
Too
past the
late.
curfew. Beat your ass.
And one good thing with that, as
I want
powerful
Batman.
as Wonder Woman
I want
and
him
Flash
running
and Cyborg, as powerful as all them were, they all depended on Batman for his resources.
Yeah,
You know, and that's one thing they showed in those movies. They're
Hey,
like,
everybody needs some money, right?
I mean, he's a billionaire. He has the resources of a Tony Stark. Like, look, Tony Stark funded the Avengers.
Wonder
Like,
Woman, though. Wonder Woman.
yeah, she flew on a jet.
I
with
loved
Batman.
Wonder
She flew on a
Woman
jet
in
with
that
Batman.
movie.
The
to
second
the,
I thought
Wonder
Wonder
Woman.
I loved her in that movie.
I've never
That was
seen it all the way through. I fall asleep every time. The second
was
Wonder
trash.
Woman.
The 4 hour. Oh, the second Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a terrible movie. Terrible
I
movie.
just can't.
We
Now,
don't
the
even
first
talk about
one,
that.
I'm kind of annoyed at the concept.
The first
Like,
one. The first one. I only. The first
You've
one.
been on this island learning to be this warrior, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden a dude shows up and you're like, oh, peace out, sisters.
she never seen a dude. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Like,
just
that's
rolls out with
like a
him.
woman rolling to a prison. You know what I'm saying? It's
You
like
don't know
you're gonna
this
have
guy?
all the.
The-
But
He
it's not the
rolls
point.
out with him.
He's of the opposite sex, so
You mean
that's
a guy
what
rolls
is
into
the
a women's
attraction
prison?
there.
No, a woman rolls into a guy's prison.
Or vice versa, or a woman,
Vice
a guy
versa.
rolls into a woman's prison. You know,
Was she like the only
Power of the P
heterosexual
and
in
the
the
power of
island?
the D.
how do they get babies in the Amazon? Don't
We
they like?
explain this?
Don't they kill the men? Isn't it like a
This
or
was
like a black
explained.
widow? Don't they like? Don't they
Yeah.
like impregnate themselves with
Yeah.
the men and then eat them? Something like that.
Well, I mean, there's so many ways the movie could have gone about
What
that.
did you just say?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just like, damn.
What?
How do the Amazons get pregnant? Is what I'm saying. Like, do they bring a man there and then
Amazons
cook
don't
them?
get
pregnant.
And then cook them?
The,
Oh, no, that was just that one.
no,
They don't
that-
all. They don't all have children. No, but it's
But they
a
have to
selective
procreate.
process.
What do they do
Like,
with the
God
boys?
created this child.
Do they like donate the boys to like the White Walkers or something?
There are no boys or girls because they're not having babies.
So if an Amazon gets pregnant, they don't have boys?
They're not getting pregnant because they're not having children.
So where do they get the Amazons from?
They don't get the Amazons.
Are they bloodlines?
The stork just drops the Amazon.
Yeah,
off.
like are they? Is there like Amazonian royal bloodlines? That means they have to get pregnant to extend the family. You know what I mean? It's like Game of Thrones, but in Amazon.
She was created by a god.
Well, her dad was a god. Yeah, right.
So wait, Amazon's.
That's her though. That's what makes her special.
Well, she's the youngest one there.
Yeah.
Well, what about the other Amazons? How do they have children?
They don't.
They've been there.
They don't. They've just been there. They're really.
What about they go
old.
to war with the Atlanteans and 100,000 of them get killed?
Immortals.
How do they procreate to make more Amazons?
They don't.
They don't.
No need to procreate when you're not dying.
I don't think that's true. Is that true?
That's true. They don't.
Amazons. So wouldn't they go extinct?
Amazons live. Like they live. That's their whole. That's their.
A bunch of them died in
like
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Imagine Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Imagine.
No, it was really good.
Black Adam in that movie in that universe would be so cool.
Darkseid's daughter.
Darkseid was dope in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yeah, she was an Amazon, wasn't she? What was her name? Yeah, I can't even think of it.
I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I know you're talking about that.
But
yeah, but I mean,
okay,
back to Black Adam.
Can we roll back to Black Adam and stop the Batman?
This might have been somebody's singular opinion that Dwayne Johnson did this, because as far as I know, Dwayne Johnson saw Zack Snyder's Justice League and was very positive on it, right? Like after the movie first premiered on HBO Max, I remember him putting out a tweet, he wanted to see Black Adam in this universe, in Zack Snyder's universe.
I thought this was about to be like a black issue, boycott Black Adam.
I did too.
I thought this was going to be like a. But then this is why.
Definitely more like
the article is saying
a white issue.
That Dwayne Johnson wanted to
nerd issue with the Snyder.
Definitely.
They're saying that Dwayne Johnson wants to expand the role of Black Adam into, same as Henry Cavill for Superman. He wanted to spin this first movie off into a trilogy or a bunch of movies,
Yeah, he wants to basically take over the DCEU starting with this movie.
And they're explaining that he is the reason that they didn't extend the Snyderverse or go with that storyline, because they wanted to, I guess, the star power of The Rock, of Dwayne Johnson, they wanted to follow his plan. Okay, we'll give you 3-4 Black Adam movies, Which, in the end, it would have been better to hold on to Henry Cavill, hold on to Ben Affleck, hold on to Gal Gadot, and if Ezra Miller wasn't tripping as Flash, he's
they're
out.
doing reshoots for the Flash movie.
Are they going to have to...
Ezra Miller's there? Ezra Miller.
I'm so confused by that guy.
He may be back in.
He cleaned himself up. Yeah,
I don't know.
I hope he did, man.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, man, it's all bullshit. Like this, all they need to. It's so weird because I forgot who said it. There was someone that said it best, where it's like, yo, this dude literally kidnapped someone, assaulted people, groomed a little girl. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I heard he was tripping.
He's literally committed crimes, real fucking crimes, and studios are like, yeah, it's all good because he's white, it's all good because he's white.
More noise doing that.
But if a black person did that, what would happen. We all know what would happen.
Yeah.
We all know what would happen. So it's like, man.
Hopefully he has a good team around him, good people in his corner, good family.
Boycott the Flash movie. Boycott the fucking Flash movie for real, because that's some bullshit.
To be honest, I didn't give a damn about Ezra Miller's Flash. That Flash was weird.
It's almost like anybody can come back.
It's funny, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, he had the best moment.
That movie was so dope. He saved the world. That whole movie hinged on that moment he had at the end. It was
exactly.
He saved the universe. I mean, he saved Superman.
The best moment in the movie, and then you hear all this shit, and God damn it.
And everybody had a moment.
I hated that. I loved that part of the movie.
The music was dope. It
was just a great moment. It was just a great moment.
It meant something.
It was a great
Darkseid was there. It was just man, they set up this whole another 4 or 5 movies after this, and then we're not going to get any of them.
Well,
now imagine that movie with Black Adam in it. That shit would have been dope.
But at the same time, I gotta say, if this was true, I don't know if it is true, but if this was true, it doesn't surprise me, because while The Rock, I respect him, his ego is the fucking biggest ego I've ever fucking seen in my entire life.
He can't help it.
In literally anything. My man will promote his ass to anyone about any of his products.
Hey,
at every opportunity.
I bet you Henry Cavill might be an asshole too.
Did you?
He's not exactly Shaquille O'Neal.
Crowd surfed their baby.
Oh yeah.
At a stadium. It was like a little baby.
Yeah.
And they crowd surfed their baby.
It was in Mexico, I think.
To the Rock.
Yeah, it was in Mexico. He said he's like, oh, I thought the baby was a fake at first, but then he took the baby and he held the baby and then gave it back to the crowd.
He'd have been there like, the Rock says, get this damn baby out of here.
Look it up.
I would have been like security to take the baby.
Right.
Yeah.
You know that?
Like who in their right mind would do that to the baby?
Whose
Like
baby is
it's fucking out like it's so loud for the baby. This is like an infant. Like
hopefully
it's so loud for the baby already, and then you're gonna fucking put it in danger by having a crowd surf to the fucking Rock. Like you love the Rock, but you can't love him that.
You would be a
much.
straight asshole if you dropped the baby in the crowd surf, dog. You just
like
one dude misses.
That was a risk they were willing to take.
Mm-hmm.
No one got a child endangerment.
I don't know. I hope so.
What was the Rock even doing? Was this a concert, or was he just giving a speech or something?
I think it was a concert of some kind, or it was like a premiere or something.
He'd have been like, "The Rock says, take this baby back."
But yeah, no, like I truly, it wouldn't surprise me if this were true. But you know what? If maybe this is the thing that actually gets DC. If this is true, maybe this is the thing that actually gets DC to do shit right for once. Right? Because like Zack Snyder's Justice League is the best thing to come out of DC, the DCEU so far, and it wasn't even official.
Which is why I'm so disappointed that they did not continue. Crowd
surf, baby Rock. See, baby, get crowd surf. Jesus Christ!
Trailers.
My God! As long as it's not Black Panther trailer.
Yeah, man, that's funny.
Wow.
Look, the Rock showed empathy. Well, it's not like they're mishandling the baby. Okay, easy.
This baby's like, what is
the baby, just by being there, the baby's being mishandled.
And the Rock knew the baby was coming. It's not like somebody just turned to the left and it was a baby.
So this looks like it's a Black Adam event. So it looks like it's a Black Adam premiere. I think it's in Mexico.
Hey, yo.
But why would you do this?
Hey, and the Rock purposely wore no sleeves with a vest.
Why on
you
earth
can do that when you're that big?
Why on earth would you do this? Like, that's straight up child endangerment. Luckily, the baby's fine, but still.
It looks like that child's head needs to be supported.
Yeah, I know. It was just holding it by like the legs.
Right. The Rock just brought up. You got a baby.
God.
Yeah, it's my baby now.
Yeah, but he said like, he said, I thought it was fake. I thought it was fake when it was coming to me, but then he saw it. He's like, oh, it's real.
Yeah.
Fucking guy.
Take this baby.
It doesn't matter who's this baby is. It doesn't matter who this baby is.
He'd have cut him off in the middle. It's my baby. It doesn't matter whose baby it is.
I swear. Yo, God.
Well, I mean, I guess.
But yeah, like I don't really have anything else to say. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say about this, but
right.
I'm good. I mean, if
Snyder Nights is kind of funny though.
If they're bringing back Cavill, that's all I care about.
It's heavily rumored, but it's still a rumor.
Kanye?
Yeah, I mean, any final thoughts on the MCU, DCEU, anything like that? Let's go.
I'm excited for Wakanda Forever. I just hope they do T'Challa justice because you're killing him off, but please do
I
it
hope
right.
Black.
My prediction: they're not killing him off. He'll be back.
Who?
T'Challa.
Yeah, how? I can only see that from
again. That was
unless they show him getting speared through the chest by something.
No, they're gonna do. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it off screen.
Heart attack.
They're gonna do it off screen. They're gonna do it off screen.
How do you kill a heart-shaped dude? He's super powered. T'Challa, dude lives forever.
Hey,
how you gonna kill him
without showing it?
Hey, brother, I'm with you. I'm with you.
100%. I think we're willing to forgive it because we know that he's dead.
The actor is dead, but the thing is, it's about the character.
You guys,
it's about T'Challa, the character.
They should have. It could be somebody else.
They should have recast him.
They will recast him.
But the thing is, Marvel's been very vocal about saying that they will not recast him out of respect to the actor Chadwick Boseman. I get it. He's dead. I understand. It was heartbreaking. I cried like when I heard he died. But at the same time, the character of T'Challa is still a character. he knew before he died. He knew that playing T'Challa was bigger than him. It would be bigger than him. It's bigger than the culture. This is like a moment.
Here, let me say this. Do you guys think Shuri's gonna hold the mantle of Black Panther?
No.
No.
All right.
Can't.
Do you think Killmonger's coming back?
Possibly.
I pray so. Because he's the most natural slot in.
If Killmonger can come back, we don't think they can recast another T'Challa?
I think it would be too on the nose.
Not after. The only reason I'm disagreeing or countering that is because Marvel's been so vocal about saying we're not doing it.
They also put out a trailer with inaccurate movie clips.
Yeah, but this is beyond that. This is beyond that. This is beyond that. This is way beyond that. This is like the actual like studio.
It's too soon
saying like we're not doing it.
I think it's too soon.
This is, and it would be weirdly disrespectful for them to say we're not doing it and then say surprise we did it. They'd be weirdly disrespectful. It'd be like,
would be weirdly disrespectful but in the next movie.
But that's what we're talking about. The movie hasn't come out yet, so they could still do
Black
it.
Panther now. Look, I'm just telling you what it is. It's gonna happen.
Shuri will be Black Panther, but I don't think she's gonna be able to hold it.
Not permanently, no.
She's not gonna be hold it. She's not gonna be able to hold it. I'm telling you, Nakia, that's Nakia in the suit. I hope it is. I really do.
Yeah.
She'd be a great Black Panther.
I like the fact you're wearing green. Those are her colors. So like, I feel like this is
These are my.
Gotta make this happen.
Intelligent Idea Talkers Show podcast sponsored by the Green Steeds. Thank our sponsors, Green Steeds.
She provided the tortilla chips and the guacamole.
I did, in fact.
And the
great.
And the vanilla cream handcrafted.
So
soda juice.
We're going to Kanye.
Yeah,
Kanye. All right, guys. Man. Quick recap.
He's tripping.
Kanye talk.
He's tripping.
Your boy is wilding again. What was it? 2 weeks ago or last week? It all happened so fast. To be honest, he comes out at one of his fashion shows with
Paris Fashion Week.
Rocking
a White Lives Matter T-shirt with Candace Owens.
Yeah, I saw that.
With Candace Owens.
With the coon known as Candace Owens.
She's a coon, but she's pretty. I'll give her that much.
I've seen her recently.
She's beautiful. She's pretty.
She wears makeup that's not for her. Anyway, moving on. The fact of the matter is that this is a controversial issue because one, we've already seen Kanye kind of flip sides with the whole Trump situation, talking about I don't know, just loving Trump,
siding with Trump,
rocking the red MAGA hat. After that, he's always talking down on black people, talking against specifically Black Lives Matter
and slavery.
And don't even talk about the whole.
I wonder how much of this
he's talking about slavery. It was a choice by black people.
Slavery was a choice.
And then immediately back down when confronted with a little bit of history. Immediately back down. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I just wanted to bring this up. I feel like we should talk about this. This is a cultural issue. Kanye has been part of our lives since we were in 2003. Right?
Before then, I think.
I was just talking to my homies on Thursday. I will always respect Kanye for his albums. I will always do it.
Albums.
Graduation was one of my favorite albums ever.
I'm talking about like College Dropout.
Okay.
Like 2003.
I didn't really like College Dropout, but Late Registration.
I love that album.
Graduation.
Right when I was in college.
I was on the fence about 808s and Heartbreaks until I heard it, and I was like, "This shit is dope." Yeah, 808s and Heartbreaks was dope.
I loved his first two albums, College Dropout and Late Registration. I thought those albums were phenomenal.
Right.
Like I thought they were like just as good.
Late Registration.
It's always like neck and neck with those two for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's be real.
Even My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was good. Jesus was kind of whack.
Jesus was whack.
The Life of Pablo was cool.
Now, here we have the transition, right? Because there was a point between My Twisted Dark Fantasy and Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever happened there, something disconnected, something broke.
Let's keep in mind he was also dating a Kardashian. Don't know all this.
I don't want to blame it on them, man.
I kind of do. I mean that family is.
This man's mother died.
Yeah,
but a lot of people's mothers died
for 808 and Heartbreak
in a very vain way.
a lot of people. God bless his mother and Kanye West, but a lot of people.
I don't
don't.
never begrudge anybody for it.
He felt responsible for it because his lyrics clearly indicated that he felt like it was his fault for bringing
his
her
his entire musical style changed after
Everything
his
changed
I
movie.
think the
Kanye.
Kardashians had a lot to do with that. I think being
With
a
him
member of that
transferring
family and in that celebrity space.
So Kim and Kanye, what they have in common, right? Kim also lost her dad.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like it would lead to a discussion about mental health, and about how we really need to start to get taken care of, you know, without any judgment or prejudice or whatever, because I feel like they need help. I feel like he needs serious help because because the thing about him is that he is one of the biggest music stars in the world, right? And that has fed his already massively inflated ego. I think like he's like one of the people who has a bigger ego than The Rock in the world, right?
Actually,
But, like,
I feel like he's very insecure.
He's absolutely insecure. He's absolutely insecure.
It has nothing to do with
But
his
his ego is still massive. So like I feel like him being so popular, he's talented. I'm not gonna take that away from him. He's talented. That feeds into his ego. He's the biggest one of the biggest music stars we have in the world. It feeds all into his ego. He feels like he can do whatever he wants.
Does the new
and the music industry and the music
no.
I
mean,
just cares about what he's doing.
The music that comes out nowadays is not hip.
He arguably ruined Schoolboy Q's track with his verse.
Yeah, he did change the beat and all that. Just changed the song.
Dope track.
I also think he ruined whatever passes for hip hop culture these days. I think he ruined it too.
So my issue is, I agree with you 100% that this is definitely a mental health issue.
Mm-hmm.
My
100%.
only issue, which makes me be like, F all that, is because it's not like he doesn't have the resources to get mental health.
Okay,
he has all the resources. He has all the referrals. All he is surrounded by yes men who promote him.
The music industry does
I'd argue
is responsible is partially responsible for this. For him not
also his fashion thing. Like
that's
I feel
what
like
I'm
he
saying.
gets more from his fashion than his music, because who's buying Kanye albums now? But what they are buying are his shoes.
Yeezus, they look like
and he's doing these nut ass fashion shows, which are. Have you seen? I wish I could pull the images from his fashion shows.
Yo, they're fucking like avant-garde, like crazy.
But he told us what he was trying to do a long time ago. He wanted to be up there with the Tommy Hilfigers and the Versace's, and
Kanye is an artist.
He wanted to get accepted into that space.
Yes, and he was at one point. He was a genius too.
I wouldn't say he was a genius.
I would say he was a genius
musically,
but genius is always right next to the insane asylum, and I think he's crossed that line.
So I just sent a article to all the group chats. It's from US Weekly. So Kanye West is dealing with fallout from his Paris Fashion Week scandal, during which he wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt, slammed a Vogue editor for her criticism, and later was temporarily restricted from multiple social media outlets for sharing anti-Semitic message. I mean, Kanye is definitely tripping. Outside of making fun of the editor,
let me run that. Sorry, go ahead.
Wearing this White Lives Matter t-shirt, it's like Kanye, and there's later on in this article where he has a interview with Tucker Carlson, and he's kind of explaining why he wore the shirt. He says, people, they're looking for an explanation, and people say, well, as an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, which is true, but as a leader, you do. So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing. Is he wrong? Is he wrong? White lives do matter.
That's the thing. Like, that's never been the issue.
But it's like, why would you write down on a shirt and wear it?
White Lives Matter is what Black Lives Matter movement is about.
And it feels like it's the opposite to
White
Black Lives Matter.
Right?
Is it?
Black Lives Matter is about White Lives Matter, and that Black Lives Matter need to matter as much as white lives.
You're right.
So Black Lives Matter as well. That's always been the argument.
Right.
Now, if he's acting like he doesn't know this, then that's either him being detached or that's him not wanting to care.
I'll give Kanye this much. He knows how to stay relevant in the media space, right? Like he's always in the news for something, and I think that's part of his play. It's like whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, you need people talking about you, and you need to stay relevant. 50 Cent did a great job of that too.
I don't agree with that. I don't think it's about him. I don't think it's about him intentionally trying to stay relevant. I think it's just him.
He did. He stayed relevant wearing his shirt. I'm like,
either way, it goes to a degree of relevancy, but like he's fucking crazy.
He's lost his shit.
He's lost his fucking mind.
I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3, awkward space, capital on Jewish people, capital all caps Jewish people, space. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, space. You guys have told with me, tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda.
Is that from Twitter?
That's
a Twitter post.
Yeah, that's his tweet.
Well, I mean, hey, cocaine is a hell of a drug, and I think that Kanye is not on something, whether it be prescription or
he's not on anything.
I don't think he's on anything.
It's the lack of him being on something, which is the issue.
I don't know. He needs to be on.
Would
any of us be surprised?
Ritalin, he needs to be on Xanax.
Would any of us be surprised
with?
But most of those drugs are on par with heroin and cocaine. They're classified the same.
He's diagnosed with
bipolar
disorder. He needs to be on something.
Would any of us be surprised to see a video of Kanye West taking a line of cocaine? I don't think anybody would. I mean, you'd be like, yeah, that's about right to me.
But I mean, that would be too easy.
That's different, though.
Is it different?
Too easy.
Because I've never been on Xanax. I've never been on codeine or
I don't think that like
he's on something.
Drugs make you like racist, right?
Like Kanye West racist?
Do drugs make you racist?
Is Kanye West racist?
If you can be racist and it might slip out if you have.
Everybody's a little bit prejudiced, but racist means hate.
Medicine you're on.
Yeah.
Well, racism implies hate, but everybody can be a little bit prejudiced. You can lean more towards white or black.
3 on Jewish people, man.
That's where the cocaine comes in. That's why I'm thinking, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know.
It's not
talking about.
It's DEFCON. Like DEFCON.
But yet,
1
Jewish
5.
people though, what do they got to do with anything?
But DEFCON 3 is in the middle. That's weird. Like it's supposed to be DEFCON 1 is the worst, DEFCON 5 is the least bad.
And those lack of periods are probably also on purpose.
Yes, it's very
DEFCON
on Jewish.
I feel like DEFCON was DEFCON.
Nah, I feel like
because all the other shit's spelled fine.
I feel like he doesn't know it's DEFCON.
Oh, he could be stupid too.
Well, he's a genius, but only in certain things.
And also, I think this speaks to the power that the Jewish community has, right? When they can have someone slander them on a social media platform, and next thing you know, the person is being banned for referencing Jewish people. I mean, who are these Jews? Are they like? Jewish is not a race, is it? You know what I'm saying? I thought Jewish was like a sect almost,
it's
right?
A religion.
Like, yeah. So anybody can be Jewish.
Yeah.
Right. I guess. I mean, you can have Italian Jews. You can have Scottish Jews, right? Like,
you got black Jews.
Yeah, you got black Jews. So what is the? I don't understand what Jewish.
That's what was referencing. We said black people are also Jew also.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but like one is referencing like Judaism.
Yeah, one is referencing the religion and one is referencing the people.
Like a black Jew is really usually
a black person that practices Judaism.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
That's what it is.
But
sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I was gonna say, like, the whole I wonder about that anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also. That is an interesting section of this. And which makes me think often about things I hear referenced in music from very recently, Kendrick Lamar. I don't know if you guys have heard some of his verses on his other songs, but he definitely clearly refers to black people as Jews. So this is like, and I have no issues with this. This is all bullshit.
So I have a question. Well, you go ahead, finish your thought.
But I just find it interesting. Like, I know this is a thing that's like going around, not even newly, because this is an old thing. The whole black Hebrew Israelite thing has been around forever, right, in America. It's been around forever.
But most black people in America practice Christianity, which came from Judeo
Christianity and Judaism is not even close.
Yeah. It's about the principles are the same.
Christianity and Catholicism are more similar.
Yeah, but when you start going from the Jewish Bible to the Christian Bible, I mean, it's the Christian Bible was edited, obviously, right? That's why you have the King James version. So it's not the original version of the Bible. The original version of the Bible was more derived from the Jewish version of the Bible, which is why, I guess Jews call them Yahweh. We call them Jehovah. You know what I mean? But the principles, the stories, Moses is in the Jewish Bible. Moses is in the King James version of the Bible. So I think that's where the connection between the blacks and the Jews comes from. Because what do Black Americans know about Judaism? We don't know shit about that.
Black Americans? There are a whole lot of.
So why do Kanye and Kendrick Lamar believe that Black Americans are Jews? You know what I mean?
Is it because to a particular?
Well, where do we get those ideas? Is it from Judaism or is it from Catholicism? Or I mean, I don't know. I guess we're getting into the semantics of why they believe this. But
this is part of my question though. Like, is it a comparison? Is it a comparison to let's take slavery and the Holocaust?
Mm-hmm.
Is that more along the lines of what he's getting at and what Kendrick Lamar is referencing in his lyrics? I don't know, but like that could possibly be the case too, where they're comparing like the injustices and the tribulations that both peoples have gone through,
which is kind of not fair because
is the root of from what I've heard, that is arguably part of the root of some of those beliefs that Black people's removal from Africa, brought to America, enslaved for 400 years, was the point in which was essentially what happened to the Jews in Egypt, right? Except it was from Africa to America. There's all the equivalency there. Prophecy is very vague, right? So you can say anything. And I have, honestly, let me just say this 100% up front. I don't care because it's all bullshit to me, right? But like, as far as the prophecy stuff goes and the religious stuff goes, it's all bullshit to me. But when you start talking about DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, whether he's talking about the Black Jews, who I don't know, but I'm assuming he's talking about the other Jews.
I think he's talking about all Jewish people.
Like, I'm gonna whoop y'all's asses is basically what he's saying.
Ultimately, he's crazy.
Well, that's true. This is extremely contradictory because he says on Jewish people, but I can't be anti-Semitic because Black people are actually Jews. So is he backtracking? Is he backpedaling here, or like which Jewish people is he referring to? Like, is he referring to
anti-Semitic, and he's out here talking crazy shit right now? And my main issue was that with this platform, there's going to be people who are going to argue just to argue that he has a point somehow. And that's why I'm like, at this point, we have to we gotta turn our back.
Disown Kanye? I don't believe that. Kanye has my heart, man. It's almost like Marvel, right? With their Phase 4. Like, they're suffering from Phase 4.
Kanye feels like a villain.
Nothing now, Juice.
There is an argument.
He started off as a hero.
Becoming the villain.
He started off as a hero.
Yeah, nothing now, but
stinks Atlantis.
Dude, you can't go out and listen to Kanye's Graduation right now and be like, "Damn, I remember this album. Man. I remember when I heard it."
But it's all about separating the person from the artist, the person from the talent.
And that music came out so long ago.
Yeah, this was 20 years ago.
So this goes back to what I was saying about the power of the Jewish community, right? So later on in this article, Jamie Lee Curtis, the actress from the Alien movies, right?
Came out.
I guess not Alien
movies.
Halloween. Yeah. Sorry, who was that? When I started talking about Winona Ryder, is that
Sigourney Weaver?
Sigourney Weaver. They all sound okay. All right, they all sound
the same.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Aliens and Halloween.
Jamie Lee Curtis told the person who wrote this article, and this is according to the article I sent US Weekly, I burst into tears about seeing Westward Marks. I woke up and burst into tears. DEFCON 3 on Jewish people? ? What are you doing? She added, it's bad enough that fascism is on the rise around the world, but on Twitter, on a portal to pour that in as if Jewish people haven't had it hard enough. Jamie Lee Curtis is commenting on what Kanye West said. Why the fuck should Jamie Lee Curtis care what Kanye West says about Jewish people on
Kanye
Twitter?
West is a big
That speaks to the power
because
of the Jewish community, though, right?
well,
Because Kanye West could have wore White Lives Matter. What Jamie Lee Curtis says made it to the article, not what you said, not what I said, not what the black community said about him wearing that. What his remarks were on the Jewish people.
She's famous.
Well,
but
so
yeah,
is
why
he.
does she care? Kanye West.
But he's famous. She might really like his music.
Like,
Who's
she
more
went
on
on
a
it.
celebrity
Jamie
status,
Lee
Kanye
Curtis.
or Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Huh?
Who's higher on the celebrity totem pole?
Kanye.
It depends on.
I would say
who's-
Kanye too. Yeah.
It depends on who we're referencing, because Kanye is to us, but to my mom's generation, who is
He
Kanye
ain't
to
shit.
them?
Yeah. He
So
ain't shit.
as hard
That's
as
true.
Jewish people have had it around the world, have you had it?
But the thing is,
have you had it harder than Black Americans? Have you had it harder than South Africans? Like, have you had it harder than true South Africans, not the white South
Let's
Africans?
not
it's
compare.
it's hard to
It's
make
like
those
how-
types
how
of
genocide is
comparisons.
bad.
It is.
discussion. That's a discussion. Yeah,
But
weird
slavery
discussion to
happened
have.
over the span of hundreds of years. The Holocaust happened in like 20. You know what I mean? So it's
But
hard
don't
to.
you
When we're comparing
understand
timelines, I
Both
mean,
terrible.
But they're
they're
both
both terrible. Of course,
terrible.
obviously, right.
So
I'm not saying one is
Last
worse than the other, but
They're both.
have
They're
you
both
had
bad.
it that hard?
I mean,
You know?
Yes,
It
they
was-
have.
They're
I
both bad.
guess.
Also, let me say this. Let me say this. In
Let's
America,
just keep it there.
in America, Jews were treated terribly at the
Yeah.
very beginning.
But so were Irish by
terrible.
Italian. So were English by Scottish.
Yeah, yeah.
So
but in particular,
until they
because of
combined and said
religious
you're white.
reasons- Hold on, let me finish.
but
But
Irish
in particular, because of
could
religious
own
reasons,
slaves.
definitely Jews were treated very badly. Like often to the point
Worse
where
than
they
Black
were,
Americans.
often to the point where they were killed.
When you
Yes.
were, if you're a white Jewish man in 1860 and you go to, or 1870 after Civil
I
War,
don't know any
and you
Jews
go
in
to buy a
1860s.
house, are you going to have a better chance as an ex-slave, a black man going to buy a house and buying some land, or are you going to have a better chance as a white Jewish man buying a house in America?
I don't know, but they did.
So who's
redline
had it
Jews.
harder?
I don't know, but they did redline Jews. There are actually.
I'm not saying they
articles I've read
didn't, but I'm
recently-
saying who's
there are
had it harder.
articles I've read recently that says they will not sell to blacks or Jews.
I feel you. But
Like,
you can
it's a
hide
thing.
Jewish. You can't hide black. It's like Martin Luther King said: the
Yeah,
black
but
man
that
can't
don't
run away
matter,
from his
though.
color.
You
An
can-
Italian man
it's hard
can.
to hide
An English
Jew as
man
well.
can.
Have you-
Maybe to you because they all.
You can't go in there. You can't go into a bank and be like, I'm a English man, but I'm not going to say I'm a Jew, but I'm from England, and my grandfather was English, and my mother was Scottish, and
Orthodox practicing Jews are a lot harder to hide because they have to.
they look the part. But
Yeah.
you can mask that, where you
Okay.
can't mask your color.
That's a whole what if. The fact
Their
of the
co-
matter is
their-
they were
their
discriminated
color?
against very.
I just didn't
seriously.
agree with her on that. Steph, come on.
Although-
We know
although
there's
many-
pasty,
Okay, so there are many.
the shades, right?
So here's the thing, right?
But it's one is easier to assimilate into white society than the other. I mean, is Jews going to have a harder time assimilating to 1870 society, or is Donald Trump? You know what I mean? Like Donald Trump might be is Donald Trump a Jew? Is he Jewish?
No.
I don't know. I don't know. We don't even know who's
He
Jewish. or
hates
not.
Jews.
That
We
would
didn't
be-
know Jamie
I
Lee
don't
Curtis
know.
was a Jew.
That would be.
So
fucking
that means she can
hilarious.
hide it.
I don't think the KKK would have supported him if he was Jewish.
Yeah,
True.
David Duke definitely.
But we didn't even know until this
Jews.
article that Jamie Lee Curtis was Jewish. She can hide that, but she couldn't hide if she was black. You can't hide if Jamie Lee Curtis was a black Jew.
I'm not sure what the argument.
You can't hide the black part. My argument is she's saying as if Jewish people haven't had it hard enough. And I'm not saying they did not have it hard, but you can't
She's not
compare that
comparing,
to the difficult struggles economically
but she's
and
not comparing.
social.
She's not comparing.
She's just speaking in context.
She
to what,
added
to what
it's
he's
bad
saying.
enough that fascism is on the rise, but on Twitter, on a portal, to pour that in as if Jewish people haven't had it hard enough.
She's just
kind
commenting.
of
she's
comparing.
commenting on what he's saying.
I'm just saying,
It's
is
in
it a fair
context.
She didn't
comparison?
say anything about black people.
It's not.
She's
It's
not-
not
I'm
about
not saying she said
comparing.
anything about
It's not
black,
about
but black is
comparing.
my experience, and that's the only thing I have to compare to. I can't
Jew
compare that
is
to
her
being Jew.
experience.
It's
and
not
that's why
about-
she's
it's not
calling
about-
it.
Right,
not
but
about-
whose side are y'all on? Y'all identify as black or Jew? Which one are you first?
Whoa, why do we have to take
Because
sides?
it is. It
Whoa,
is.
No, it's
We
no,
are
it's
Americans.
not. No, it's not.
We're
We
Americans.
don't
There
have-
are sides, which is why we're mad at Kanye for wearing a White Lives Matter T-shirt. There
Yeah,
are sides.
Right, but
Because
that's
if
a
he wore a
different
Black
issue.
Lives Matter T-shirt, it wouldn't be an issue.
But that's a different issue.
But you could
But
make an
we're
issue
not
for
the
him.
only ones that are mad at him for
If
wearing
Kanye
that.
went,
If
hey,
Jamie
put
Lee
that
Curtis
picture
wore a
of
Black
Kanye
Lives
back up there.
Matter shirt, I have a problem with that too.
If she wore a Black Lives Matter shirt, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
There you go. So there's sides there.
No.
There's a gray area.
That doesn't mean
But here's the thing.
Put that picture back up of Kanye.
It's not a black or white side when we're referencing this because we're talking about equality.
This is American society. There is a black and white side. There just is. It is. You choose your battle line.
There are more white people supporting Black Lives Matter.
If that said Black Lives Matter, we would not have a problem with this picture. We would not.
Why wouldn't we have a problem with that picture?
Because it said black and not white.
No, is that why we wouldn't have a problem with that picture?
Yes.
Then you thinking like Kanye D right now.
Now, if Candace Owens had a White Lives Matter,
you because it says white instead of black.
It is.
That's not the problem.
It is
black and white.
Yes, it is.
D, that's not the problem.
If Candace Owens had a White Lives and Kanye had a black, if this said black and this said white, we'd be like, yeah, I expect that from Candace Owens because she's kind of coonish. Look, if Candace Owens had that, if Candace Owens had that on, we know Candace Owens is kind of coonish. So we'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense for her to have a white life. But the disappointment from this photo comes from Kanye having on a White Lives Matter. If that said black and not white, none of the four of us in this room would have a problem with it.
Now, why wouldn't we have a problem? Why wouldn't we have a problem with it?
Because it said black.
You know, we potentially could have a problem with it saying Black Lives Matter because we know he probably doesn't believe that. And we definitely know now.
But we would have been like, hey, Kanye, you might not believe it, but
after all the stuff that he said over the years.
All lives matter.
It didn't, and it didn't say blue lives.
After all the years, all the comments
would have been better if it said blue lives matter.
All the comments that he said about black people over the years.
What?
Him wearing a Black Lives Matter will be extremely suspect.
It would be sus
to me.
But I don't
Black
know.
Lives Matter? No, I don't think it would be suspect.
Now
it would be completely suspect to me.
What is the message behind White Lives Matter? What's the message?
It's that. Because the importance of Black Lives Matter is we know that White Lives Matter. They've always mattered.
Yes.
Culturally, economically, we know as Black people that white lives have always mattered because they have had the leg up on us, you know, through economics, through social classism. Is classism a word? I don't even know.
Yes, it's a word.
Right. But the fact that he has on a White Lives Matter shirt is like a slap in the face to the reason that White Lives Matter is because there's something that came out that said Black Lives Matter.
White Lives Matter is a response to Black Lives Matter.
So this is a slap in the face to you and me.
Just like all lives matter.
And that is why it's a problem. Not because of the word.
It is because of the message. Word. If it said Black Lives Matter, it wouldn't be a problem to you and me.
It said "Waka duck duck duck,"
but it's about the message.
It wouldn't matter because that don't mean nothing.
Wait, it could say what? It could say what?
Don't mean nothing, D.
It's about the message. Right. It's about the connotation. It's about the message.
All right.
White Lives Matter is like you said. It's a response to Black Lives Matter because it's saying only White Lives Matter.
It seems like he's saying that, or is he saying that just as a statement?
Oh, let me say
they're not saying only. It's like Black people.
He's fucking crazy.
We were never saying only Black Lives Matter. We're saying Black Lives Matter too. It would have been better if he'd have said White Lives Matter too, or as well. Did
he have to be standing next to her?
Right, and she just showing it. She just cheesing. She just cheesing about it.
She made this absolutely clear. This wasn't an accident.
Kanye knew. Look at his back. We see the back of his head. Kanye knew.
Hey, you know it'd be funny.
Kanye was in the front of that joint. His face was like, oh shit.
Candace was like, hey, you know what'd be fun? hey, let's do this. I got these 2 shirts. Hey, just put it on.
Right.
Let's go.
Let's do it. And Kanye was like, you know, this could be good for my publicity, but the culture is not going to like, I mean, so why is he not showing his face?
Yeah, but he supports it. Like, so I don't know if you watched the Tucker Carlson interview. I recommend you guys do.
I did not watch it. Man.
That shit is crazy. Like, if you thought he wasn't crazy, he's crazy.
He's crazy.
He's crazy. But like in that interview, so he talks about that. And he says dad. So he always talks about how his dad was an ex-Black Panther and his mom too, and how they separated, right? And in their like relationship, they broke.
Would his father have wore the shirt?
So he was in the interview. He said his dad texted me like "White Lives Matter," ha 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 ha, and he was like, "Yeah, right. It's a funny thing."
And he's not wrong. White lives do matter.
And he said, Dad, why do you think it's funny? He asked him, his dad, why do you think it's funny? And according to him, what he said this was his dad said was because it's funny that a Black guy is saying White Lives Matter.
Right. It would be funny if any other Black guy was wearing that shirt.
Right. And that's why
I don't think it would be funny.
You know why? You know why it would be comical? Because we would know we're poking fun at it. Versus Kanye has said all of these things that have contradicted his views on Black culture and Black America.
He's degraded Black culture.
He doesn't
Black
get
America
the nuance
constantly.
So we're admitting that Kanye
nuance.
West is
He
a
wouldn't
leader
get-
of the Black community.
Kanye thinks it's real.
Kanye
White
could have
Lives
been.
Matter.
Kanye
perhaps-
has the influence to be a leader of the Black community, but clearly he doesn't want to be.
So does Jay-Z. One guy said, I was
we
listening
love
to some
Jay-Z.
guy, they was like, Boyce Watkins was like, Jay-Z could mobilize way more people than Martin Luther King ever would by just putting a post on Twitter, by saying something, I want to mobilize us for the Black community.
That's influence.
And that's just influence, and that's the world we live in, as opposed to when Martin Luther King and Malcolm X was alive, and you know, but
you know what I listen to in my
won't.
truck all the
they
time?
won't, because they depend on the structure as it is.
Yes.
You know,
In my
they
truck
don't
all
want
the
to shake
time,
it
I'm
up.
listening to Jay-Z's music, his newer stuff,
Mhm.
where he's just breaking down financials.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to
From
me.
1 million to
It's
2 million, but that album was tight though. The Black album, that shit was tight.
Yeah,
That shit was
I'm
dope.
with you.
Yeah,
But for him, but if we're here,
And he had the Black album, not the White album.
Like my issue with like Black leaders now was like, unfortunately, there are leaders. They're also entertainers. For some reason, we don't like
We
put
meld the two together.
our intelligent ones up. We put the people who can rhyme good or can make I don't know funny clothes. Like we put those people up at the front and expect them to somehow have a deeper understanding of the plight of people, right? You would think that Kanye, growing up in a conflicted situation, growing up would have that empathy and understanding, but he's too stupid. So
especially as he came up as a back attacker,
and he got insulated, and he forgot all the other stuff and threw it off.
Which is why we give him a hard time hating him.
If Kanye had not gone out with all of the Trump propaganda and all of the slavery comments and all of these other things that preceded this,
there's a lot of other things.
Then we would have a different perspective when he's wearing something like this. Then it wouldn't be as offensive,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
But
like Ray J,
that happened.
What happened?
Where did you just take?
At least I'll give Kanye West this much.
I got some other stuff.
Candace Owens is wearing the white T-shirt. Kanye West is wearing the black T-shirt. I'll give him that much. Okay, he knew, because he could have put that on. That would have fit him. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wear the white T-shirt. I can't wear the white T-shirt.
I don't know,
That's
man.
what you're saying, stuff like you're right though. Like if he didn't say anything, we automatically give them the benefit of the doubt. We give Jay-Z the benefit of the doubt that he don't think what he thinks. We give Ice Cube the benefit of the doubt.
If Ice Cube was wearing that, we would laugh.
He thinks.
That doesn't count.
The fact of the matter is, in that interview, he said he was talking to Ice Cube just the day before, talking about the same shit to Ice Cube, talking about the same shit to Ray J. He talking about the same shit to Puff. Like, these people very likely think like him. They're smart enough to shut the fuck up.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that?
Doubt, and that's the problem.
Let me give you the opposite to all that. Kanye West is more relevant than Ray J. He's more relevant than Puffy at this moment right now. He's damn near a little more relevant than Jay-Z because his voice is louder. Are we going to pay more attention to what Ray J says or what Kanye says?
Would we talking about Kanye if he did his fashion
show? It depends.
We're going to pay attention to Kanye.
About Kim.
We're going to pay attention to Kanye.
Did he
his voice carries further.
Because when Ray J says things about Kim, we listen.
That's true.
That's because Ray J, but Kanye West knows it just as good by now.
What if somebody?
I done had a couple babies.
Kim
with her. I know.
Kardashian's.
You're like, yo, she like it, like, yeah. He'd be like, yeah,
Stop. Don't elaborate. Don't elaborate.
Because you know what I'm talking about, though. You know, Kanye be like, yeah, she like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ray J be like, yeah, I did that shit. Ray J did that shit like years ago. Kanye West, I got several kids with her, bro. I know. Yeah. Would you be friends with Ray J as Kanye West?
He is not.
I don't think I would.
I really.
I'd be like, bro, nah, you don't
have to go through when their parents are
right
out
fucking psycho
in public. I mean, I'm not saying that's who knows why they have the issues that they're having, but I mean, all of these messages and all of these things.
I'm sorry if I was Kanye,
draw all this negative attention also affect their children. So there was a video of Kim she was at a Saints game or something like that. She was at some game.
Probably the Saints game, yeah, because she dated the running back for the Saints,
and they booed her and the child.
With Reggie Bush, she dated Reggie Bush before she dated Kanye West,
and they booed
and Reggie Bush won a Super Bowl with the Saints.
Child, you know, I just felt like that was completely. This happened like last week.
So this is all a matter of.
They probably don't like her because Reggie Bush won a Super Bowl with the Saints and she broke up with Reggie.
She's
for Kanye.
there with her child.
So what? We like the running back for the Saints. You're here at the Saints game. Okay, we hate you because you broke up with our running back who won us the championship.
I think
it's not personal.
I think a lot of it has to do with how people like this of this kind of influence, just like walk around the world. Like how they walk and talk around the world. How they
run tomorrow.
How they just like how they use their influence to.
You don't have
put
to
forth whatever message or whatever.
I can't.
You probably shouldn't.
Stop hating. Don't tell him that. You got to drink that shit.
You probably should.
Juice, I'm telling you, this is gluten free. It's not gonna give you no hangover, bro. It's rain. Certain people out there know what I'm talking about when I say rain.
Right.
Wow.
Besides this capitalistic system that we live in, that's the only reason gluten ends up in anything.
Drinks this whole time.
Who named it gluten anyway? Like, that's not a good name.
I saw
bro. You
gluten free
it
on
like,
a meat packet the other day.
Right.
I was like, really?
I mean,
like,
shit. Is gluten the best name for it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guarantee there's gluten in Kanye.
Let me read this down real quick. Kanye West attends Candace Owens' film premiere. This is from the 13th. Poses at the film premiere with Ray J, Kid Rock,
Candace Owens, Ray J, Kanye, Kim. I'm feeling this love square going on.
And the name of the movie that Candace Owens
hey, I don't like triangles.
At the event was Greatest Lie Ever Sold, George Floyd and the Rise of BLM.
George Floyd should have just got his ass in the car. I know this is a very unpopular opinion, but George,
please.
Get your ass in that damn car, bro. They asked you, if you look at that entire video, they asked you over and over and over, get in the back of the car. Mm-hmm. I can't. Now, whether George Floyd was high or not, okay, fine. He might have been paranoid. They could have handled it a different way. They could have sat him on the curb next to the building. He didn't have to kneel with his knee on the throat and choke him down. But if George Floyd had have gotten in that car the first 10 times they asked him to, he'd still be alive.
That's not the issue.
And I think we need to acknowledge that.
That's not the issue.
No.
That's not the issue.
He would be alive, bro.
That's not the issue.
Now, the guy killed him. The cop killed him. He killed him. He knelt on his throat.
That's the issue.
But get your ass in that car. They asked you repeatedly for 10 to 15 minutes to get in the back of the car.
What if he got in the back of the car and they killed him in the back of the car?
Hey, Freddie
We don't know that because that didn't happen.
Was in the back of the car.
But we know what he died.
One thing that we do know is that he's dead.
George Floyd was George Floyd high?
Who cares?
Did he get in the back of the car? Did he comply with what the officer wanted him to do?
How do you know it wouldn't have ended the same way? It wouldn't have.
We don't know, but we do know how it did end with the cop choking him out and murdering him on in front of the world. Right? We know how it ended. He murdered him. Okay, I'm not giving him a pass, but George Floyd, I know you're high. I know it's hard.
It doesn't matter.
I know you're saying you're. What did he say? He was paranoid, or
it doesn't matter.
What did he say he was? Claustrophobic. He said he was, right? Like, okay, George, we know that.
It doesn't matter what state.
We know
he
was in. We know you have codeine or whatever flowing through your veins right now.
It doesn't matter what state he was in. A man died.
But we know famously black people go against the power.
Jonathan Crawford did not walk through Walmart holding a gun he was about to buy.
That's a different situation. That's a different situation. You can always.
I was gonna say the same thing.
If Omar took his ass home.
You can always draw different inferences in every situation, right? But particularly, I'm not talking about Trayvon. I'm not talking about whoever else.
If only George Zimmerman wasn't the cop.
What was the worst one we saw? Wasn't that guy in Minnesota who got shot in his car? What was his name? Philando Castile.
In the street.
Philando Castile was the worst one, right? That was the worst one. I mean, shot him next to his baby's mom, the kid in the back seat. The cop still screaming with the gun inside.
If
like
only he
had. But I'm not talking about all them.
Have a gun.
I'm not talking about all them.
There is.
I'm not talking about all them.
Maybe he should have told him.
This is one of those things.
I'm not talking about all them. I'm talking about George Floyd.
It's one of those things. It's all bad.
I'm talking about George Floyd.
It's all bad.
And I know
it's all bad.
If you watch the entire video of George Floyd, they asked him to sit down in the car. Now, if George Floyd could have calmed himself and he said to his inner self, "Yo, let me get in the back."
You don't know that he would still be alive.
We don't, but it's a higher probability that
you don't know that
because there would have been no need to lay him on the ground.
There was never a need.
You don't know that. You don't know
there
that.
wasn't. They could have sat him up against the building. I'm not excusing that. And the cop Chauvin definitely murdered him.
Maybe
But
they should have put him in the car.
I think if George Floyd would agree with me, I think if George Floyd was here, sitting right next to us on this
Please,
podcast,
please stop.
and no disrespect to his family, no disrespect to his family.
Like, can we just not do this?
No disrespect to his family, but I think he would agree. I should have gotten in the back of that car because it would have ended. The chances of it ending with my death would have been significantly lessened if I would have just sat in that car. And we know I'm telling the truth.
What percentage do you think it should have been that he should have died? What percent? 1%?
He shouldn't have died at all.
20%?
That cop murdered him.
0%? Do you think there was 0% that he should have been killed in this ordeal?
There was 0% he should have been killed.
Why the fuck does it matter what he did?
Because it matters, dude. It does. It does, dog. You can say it don't, but the world and everybody here knows it does. They shouldn't have. But we know that what you do up to your death matters. Like if you're murdered in a insignificant, like
maybe he thought he would be treated like a regular American.
I can be murdered.
Like, hey, I will be treated like I have rights, and I will have a chance in court.
I'm
like
looking
my
at
rights as an American.
I'm looking at the hypotheticals, right? Like
I will be able to plead my case in a jury instead of being executed.
If I leave
maybe
here,
he had that mentality.
If I leave
I think
here,
that's called like a white privilege, right?
If
maybe he thought he had.
You're saying George Floyd died because of white privilege?
Maybe he died because he doesn't have white privilege.
Maybe he died because
if he had white privilege.
I can see that.
He would be.
But
alive.
I've seen a lot of white people.
He doesn't have white privilege.
I've seen a lot of white people.
That he should be treated the same as a white person.
So you're saying that Chauvin would have not knelt on a white person's neck?
Absolutely. Who's white? What white?
Now, what if the white person was resisting getting into the back of the car? You can't judge.
I've seen white people.
You cannot judge the George Floyd situation off of the fact that that cop knelt on his neck. You can, but there was a time before that cop put his knee on his neck where George Floyd had a chance to get in the back of that car, and he didn't take it.
You don't know that.
He did not take it, bro. Okay,
it's not about him taking a chance.
I'm just going off the video.
This is about what happened. This is about what happened.
And it did happen. And part of what happened was him refusing to get in the back of that car. And you can't X that out because you don't agree with him dying. I don't agree. It does. It led up to that situation. All of those events led up to the cop putting his knee on his neck. Now, are y'all saying that the cop? Are y'all saying that if George Floyd had got,
he should have stayed home that day?
Maybe he'd still be alive.
Actually, he shouldn't have bought that car.
Maybe. He'd still be alive. If I left here and went to the 7-Eleven to get a Red Bull,
he shouldn't have taken.
Should I have not gone to the Red Bull if I get hit by a car?
Maybe
I shouldn't have gone. I shouldn't have gone to the 7-Eleven.
Then he will never have been killed by Derek Chauvin. How far back we gonna go?
We don't know.
I'm sorry. Y'all cannot agree with it. But I think the general people would agree with me.
How far back do you want to go?
Is that I'm talking about for this situation, from the time him and Derek Chauvin interacted. If he had have gotten in that car, now I can see if Derek Chauvin had climbed in the backseat and choked him out anyway. What if Derek Chauvin climbed in the backseat and choked him out anyway when he got in there? But if he'd have sat in that car, he might not have had to be laid on the street.
He had a right, and they were arresting him properly.
I'm not saying Derek Chauvin killed him.
You think he shouldn't fight for his rights? You think, or you think he shouldn't? He doesn't have.
Have you seen the video?
I saw the video. I saw the whole.
Was George Floyd not resisting getting in the back of that car?
Yes.
I think if most black people comply with what the cops are asking you to do in the moment. I'm not saying cops are not racist, obviously.
That's not a right.
But don't resist. Don't. If they tell you to get down on the ground, put your hands behind your back. Don't fight them and not want to put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back, bro. You might still be alive if you did that. Okay, I'm just saying.
That's not what we don't.
Every situation is different.
We don't all have that choice.
I saw a cop the other day shoot a kid through a car who opened the car door and shot this kid as he drove off.
I'm not saying it was right. I think I saw the article.
I'm saying is like, at what point should that kid have not been eating that burger?
I saw that. Yeah, he was eating some lunch and they pulled up on him and shot him or something. Yeah.
Like, at what point did the kid fuck up?
I'm sorry, I'm forgetting this guy's name, but the guy who was shot in his own home by the female
right, ran up in there and misidentified.
At what point should he have not?
But those are different situations, guys. I'm talking about George Floyd's situation.
Every situation is different, but it's about you're talking about something that's predestined. You're talking about saying like he would have absolutely had a better chance if he had gotten in the car. If he had gotten in the car and just complied. That's not a chance we all have. This is absolutely a white
It's
a white privilege versus
I
black
think
person
George
thing.
Floyd's takes on a significance because it sparked, and you know me as a Washington fan, that protest sparked the change of the Redskins name, which they should have changed years ago. I was already on board. Just change the name. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, just change the name. But that sparked the Redskins changing of the name, that George Floyd protest, right? And we can't skip around the fact that he did not comply with what they wanted him to do. The way that ended up, we're all sorry.
Skip around the fact that doesn't matter because he's been treated
like we're all sorry.
He should have been.
What if George Floyd had gotten in the car? What if he had gotten in the car?
He should have been treated like an American citizen.
Let me throw out this hypothetical.
That's the only issue that matters.
What if George Floyd got in the car?
Rights.
What if George Floyd got in the car and there was no need for Derek Chauvin to kneel with his knee on his neck because he was in the back of the car, he was restrained, he was handcuffed, and he just sat there? Would he still be alive?
His rights from him. At what point was it okay for Chauvin to say he doesn't have rights?
The only wrong Chauvin did, which was the most egregious wrong, was kneel with his knee on his fucking neck. That's just common sense. You choked him to death.
So how long does one wrong last?
I mean, are we talking about George Floyd not getting in the car? Because would you have gotten in the car, Juice? Would you have gotten in the car? If the cop handcuffed you and said, sit your ass in the back of this car, would you have gotten in the car?
It depends. Was I being arrested?
Were you high off cocaine? Were you high off fentanyl? Were you high off? What was George Floyd high off of?
Was I being arrested illegally?
But you would have sat in that car.
No.
Dude, I think you would have. If you were surrounded by five, six different officers.
Let me backtrack.
Frank, you would have sat in that car.
I would have done.
You're a level-headed person. You would have gotten that car.
I'm a level-headed person,
like,
but it depends.
I fucked up. Let me get in the car.
If I'm getting arrested illegally, I know my rights.
It does matter, dude. Context matters, and the context of him not getting in that car matters. It does.
It doesn't, man.
To me, it doesn't.
So you think that no matter what, if he had gotten in the car, he wouldn't have died? Can you promise me that?
Because he did.
Can you promise?
Because he did not get in the car and he ended up dying. You have to say that because if he would have not, if he would have gotten in the car, he might not have died. You have to. The sequence of events was he didn't get in the car. They slammed him on the ground. They knelt on his neck. That was the sequence of events. So if you go back to the point of him having a choice in his mind to get in the car or not, if he got in the car, you have to say it might have ended differently. You have to because it's a hypothetical. We don't know what would happen if he got in the car. No, I can't. But you can't say it would have ended the same.
What if he just dipped down the street?
You can't say it would have ended the same. You can't say it would have ended the same because the sequence of events led to him dying. So you can't say him running down the street wouldn't have been the same.
So what if he kicked Chauvin in the balls?
That would have been funny. It would have been funny.
But maybe he would be alive still.
The fact of the matter is he didn't have to die.
He did not.
That's it. That's
was he culpable in his own death?
No.
Did he have any?
No,
not then. No, he didn't because the guy knelt on his neck and choked him.
No, he was not culpable in his own
and
death.
he told the guy, "I can't breathe."
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how or where or when or whatever. It's straight up.
You can't say George Floyd had no hand in his death, dog. You can't say that, dog. I'm sorry. I saw the video.
He should not have died because he was killed. He wasn't killed by accident. It wasn't something that he didn't commit suicide.
He was killed.
He was killed.
He was murdered. Yeah.
He was murdered by someone else. He was not culpable in his own death whatsoever. He's dead. A man is dead. That's the point. That's it.
I don't know.
That's it. That's it.
I think a lot of people would agree with me that
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I really don't. I don't know about that.
I think white lives matter. But like,
I would think
that
so,
would be wrong, yo.
I think there's plenty of black people who would agree with me, though. Law-abiding citizens who don't get high off fentanyl or coke.
It doesn't
matter. George Floyd was high on something,
it doesn't
guys.
Matter.
So that makes him more resistant to
At what point of you being high should you have been choked to death?
Not at all.
All right, then. What the fuck does it matter?
But his resistance to the instructions that were given to him led to him being choked.
How much have you drank right now?
And you know what? You know what? As much as I've drank, if a cop told me to get in the backseat of the car, I'd do it.
I don't know.
I would do it.
Maybe. What if he told you to take your pants down?
He would have to do that. I'm handcuffed. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't take. You want me to pull my Jimmy out?
He's like, no, sir, take your pants down.
Did he say that to George Floyd?
I don't know.
So that's more of a hypothetical than George Floyd not getting in the car.
We're talking about you. If a cop told you take your pants down, D, are you going
to do it? Would a cop who was arresting me let me go into my pants where weapons and guns are hidden?
Or he'll choke you to death.
Would a cop who's arresting me let me go into my belt line to undo my pants to possibly pull out a weapon.
That's semantics. It's just,
so is him not getting in the car. So is him not being choked. This is all semantics.
That's not all semantics.
Because everything that happened led to George Floyd dying. Okay, everything that happened led to George Floyd dying. He's dead. Okay,
no,
and we can't say that he did not have a hand in that.
It's not a predestined. It's not again. You're missing the fact that he was killed.
He was killed.
Yeah,
he was.
He was murdered by someone.
I'm not missing that fact at all. He was murdered
outside of himself.
So whose fault was it?
So whose fault is it that he's dead?
Derek Chauvin.
All right,
100%.
We can't say that George Floyd might not have lived if he would have followed instructions.
But did
you see the video? There was about 15 minutes between him being on the ground with his knee on his neck to George Floyd being contacted by Derek Chauvin. So if George Floyd had to follow the instructions that were given to him,
we don't know
within those 12 minutes.
We don't know that,
and we don't know if he'd have been dead either.
We do know.
We do know that he's dead because he didn't follow those instructions.
Not because he didn't follow those instructions.
Why is he dead?
He's dead for probably a variety of other reasons. One of those being Derek Chauvin
Sandra Bland followed instructions,
himself.
right? And she died in the jail, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't know if he'd have lived or not. We don't know. He could have OD'd on the drugs he was on. We don't know.
Derek Chauvin.
We know that he died because Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck and choked him to death. That's what we know. And the sequence of events that led to Derek Chauvin being on his neck and choking him, part of that reasoning was George Floyd not complying with what the police asked him to do repeatedly. They repeatedly asked. They didn't ask him once and then pull him down and choke him. They asked him 10 times.
What if Chauvin was just having a bad day and just popped George Floyd?
He might have been. He might have been.
No. What if he just popped George Floyd just for walking down the street?
But he didn't do that.
He just shot him.
But he didn't. He didn't.
He still killed him.
Argument, dude.
He still killed him.
Y'all see my hype. Y'all see what I'm saying, and I think y'all both refuse to acknowledge it. But you see what I'm saying.
It's not about acknowledging anything.
Am I wrong?
You already agreed.
It's not about acknowledging anything.
Right?
We got on this because I was saying that white lives do matter. Are we wrong? Do white lives matter?
Of course they matter.
They matter as much as black lives, right? So was Kanye wrong to wear this shirt?
Whoa.
Was Kanye wrong to wear this shirt?
Whoa! No!
What happened to Steph? What happened out of the co-host? I'm about to take her chair. She's gonna come back. Stephanie, come back in.
I know she walked away.
Right.
The argument of Black Lives Matter is that Black lives do not matter as much as white lives, i.e. Derek Chauvin.
That was the point of Black Lives
Matter. Derek Chauvin and George Floyd. There. That's in plain view. That's it. Mm-hmm. Don't matter as much, right?
Black lives don't matter as much as their lives. Yes. That's why the whole point of Black Lives Matter.
That's why the movement. Yes, that's the point.
Did Black Lives Matter take off before George Floyd?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember Philando Castile was around the same time. Yeah. So Black Lives Matter before George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we're all saying the same thing.
Black Lives Matter.
I think we just disagree on the sequence of events leading up to his death. There's no need for him to die. It was a senseless death. It was stupid. The guy murdered him.
Sequence of events.
But I think
on what matters.
It does matter that George didn't comply, Deuce. It does.
It doesn't matter if he was high.
If you get pulled over, if I go out of here and get pulled over by a cop, the cop pulls up behind me, I panic, I open the door and run, the cop shoots me. Does it not matter that I got in the car and ran? Or should I just have sat in the car and obeyed what he told me to do?
It matters that he shot you in the back.
Because I got out and ran.
No.
So I had no culpability in what happened to me. I got out and ran. He didn't tell me to get out and run, but I did it. I chose to go do that.
No.
He pulled out the gun and shot me.
He has the gun.
Ultimately, it's his fault that I'm dead, but did I not have any influence on me being shot?
No.
I didn't, even though I got out and ran. When he told me not to get out and run.
He shouldn't have shot you. They should have chased you.
Arrested you.
If you ran, they should have chased you.
There could have been different responses
and restrained you.
There could have been different responses, but the sequence of events that led up to me being shot, that made him sequence of events that led up to him making the decision to shoot me,
was his decision.
I have an influence on
his decision.
It was still his decision.
His decision was the problem.
He shot me.
He didn't have to.
It wasn't because you ran.
He didn't have to.
It was because I ran.
Because
if I'd have sat in that car, he might not have shot me.
He didn't have to do that. It was nothing that said he had to.
He might not, but he might have.
He might have, but he That's not why he shot me. He
It's
shot
not
me because I got out and
No,
ran.
no.
I chose to get out and run. He shot me because I got out and ran.
He still could have shot you even if you didn't run.
He could have, but it's less likely that he'll pull up to my car window and shoot me through the door.
How many stories
even though he did with Philando.
How many stories have you heard of black people getting pulled over and getting shot by the cops?
Philando Castile was the worst one. I mean, that was just like the cop panicked
a lot, right?
And just, his daughter and the kid in the back seat, the girl filming next to him in the passenger seat. He's bleeding. You see him dying on the screen. It's like.
So should Philando Castile have not brought his daughter with him, or
maybe he have Philando Castile?
He shouldn't have been speeding, right?
Or he shouldn't have told the cop that he was armed, even though that's a lawful thing to do because he put the cop on edge.
Or he shouldn't have been stopped by the cops.
How was it his fault, dude?
I'm not saying Philando Castile's was his fault. He told the cop he was armed. The cop panicked, thought he was moving, and all that. That's a different situation than George Floyd. So every situation is different. So we can't say George Floyd didn't have an influence on his situation.
He didn't.
George Floyd had an influence on his situation.
Crawford was walking through the Walmart with the gun he was about to buy, and he was sniped by a cop. Now, why was it
different
his
situation?
Fault?
He was in a Walmart. No, I didn't say it was his fault.
Well,
I said George Floyd was his fault.
So how was that your fault?
Because I chose to do something within that situation.
Who made a decision to shoot you?
Now,
at what point?
Every situation is different. Trayvon Martin's decision
have responsibility. D.
What?
When he pulls out the gun and pulls the trigger.
That's his responsibility, right?
Yes. So because he ends up with the murder on his hands.
Did he have to do that?
Was he?
He didn't have to. He didn't have to. But he might have thought to based on what you did.
In fact, do you know how it works?
It's human error. You can, whether you're black or white, we can identify with being human.
Do you know how it works?
And he was scared. Have we ever been cops? You know how stressful the job of a police officer is.
If you're running away,
I'm just saying,
you should not be scared.
I can empathize with the stress of being a police officer, right? You don't know where you're pulling up to. Black, white, you don't know what that person has in the car. You don't know what they have on them. It's a stressful job.
If the guy's been on the ground for 10 minutes,
that's different than the guy in the Walmart. That's different than Philando Castile. So we're talking about George Floyd.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about one. I'm not talking about the guy in the Walmart.
And at 10-minute mark, Chauvin is like, "Shall I continue to sit on his neck, or should I get up?"
That was despicable.
And he makes a decision,
and he knew
to stay on his neck.
I swore I thought I saw him like dig in a little bit more.
At what point was it his decision
to get up off his neck?
He was on his neck for an inordinate amount of time.
It was, and we saw him fading out, which is why Derek Chauvin should have saw him fading out as well. Damn, let me get up. Even the guys who are with him, didn't they face charges? Hey, easy up off his neck, bro. He can't breathe, bro. I mean, we can empathize with the part of being human, and being a cop is not easy.
Maybe being human doesn't mean we obey everything a cop says at every goddamn moment.
We have to, though, Juice.
And maybe being
Juice,
human.
wait a minute. Hey, people might not know this story, but Juice,
human error.
Juice, we went to a nightclub. Juice got nightsticked in the leg by a cop, got jacked up and arrested. I had to drive Juice's car back to the fucking Woodbridge. Now, Juice, if you'd have complied with what they told you to do, you would have drove home with us. They told you, don't say another word, get in your car and drive off. You chose to say a word, they arrested you. So you were comfortable in that.
I got arrested for saying the word whatever.
They told you not. The cop told you specifically, don't say another word, get in your car and drive off. Now, you said another word, they hemmed you up and arrested you.
At what point did I do something illegal?
Yeah, I don't know if it was illegal or not.
Now,
but that cop gave you fair warning.
Decision,
you ate that nightstick.
Notice I didn't get no goddamn fucking charges.
Nah, you didn't.
Because they were fucking wrong.
They were.
Okay, so what the fuck?
But it was like 4 a.m. A nightclub was letting out. Half the people are drunk. They gave you a choice. You chose to do what you did. You got arrested.
But D, like you said, different situation.
Now, if they shot me, if they shot me, at what point would that have been my fault?
Of course.
Like, let's escalate the shit every time, man. Like, why the fuck do they not hold responsibility?
They do. Right. They have to.
They have to, because they're the ones doing the action.
As an organization,
which is all it's about.
They're the ones murdering.
They are the ones murdering. Yeah,
they're the ones murdering and killing us. It doesn't matter how it happened, when it happened, where it happened.
But then, see, that brings into another point. Like, when do we draw a line between the organization and the choices of the individual? Derek Chauvin chose to put his knee on his neck. Do we hold the organization of his police department accountable for that?
When the consequences start to happen, that's when the line starts to get drawn.
Yeah,
consequences, and there are none.
I would think Derek Chauvin suffered consequences, though, right? Like he
eventually,
he
but
murdered him.
only because I'd like to think that Black Lives Matter had a lot to do with that.
Yeah,
because it was such a public outcry.
And I think
for
that
something to
video
happen
too
to
of
him.
him like looking smugly at the person recording
So
and just
egregious,
kneeling
man.
on his neck.
Killed the
Yeah,
dude
it's
for
like,
20 minutes.
bro, you're killing him. He's not moving anymore. You know what I mean?
And Candace Owens out here got a documentary talking about how that shit's a fucking
Yeah.
the biggest lie ever sold. There you go.
I don't know if it's a lie, but I know Derek Chauvin.
Kanye is a coon. We done with him. Are we done with Kanye?
I am.
No.
Yeah.
Based off nostalgia. No.
I've been done with Kanye.
Yeah.
That's like being done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I still listen to his
album.
album.
His next album?
Are you gonna
down
dump
with the
3?
next album? Me first. We down with the next album?
I didn't like Donda that much, so maybe I don't know. I like The Life of Pablo, but Donda wasn't that cool.
Donda was trash.
Yeah, it was maybe 1 or 2 songs, but it depends. It depends. I do want a pair of Yeezys. I would like the first pair, first iteration of the Yeezys to come out. Those shits was dope.
Unfortunately, like that's
them shits were tight.
American view. You know?
And you know what? Are you gonna dump Marvel in general off of the 4th phase or the first 3 phases that came before? How you judge Marvel? Because we can judge Kanye being in his first 3 phases before this. This is his 4th phase, right? So you gonna dump Kanye off of this and just totally dismiss his first 3?
Well, right now we're on phase 6. So
okay, but his first 4 was cool.
So we're not even now.
We have to give Kanye the first. Let him get the 8 phases before you dump him. Don't dump him off.
But again, this is
he gave you 4, and then he gave you 2 bad ones. Let him get the 4 phase bad ones.
Separating the individual from their product.
Okay, well, I know Kanye West mostly. I don't care what Kanye. I don't care about the Yeezys. I don't care about Kanye West fashion. I don't care about I don't really care if he wears the White Lives Matter shirt. I care about my fandom for Kanye West came from his music, and that's a lot of what I judge Kanye West off of is. Yeah, how well I thought he would. I thought of him as an artist.
I loved his first 2 albums, and I will still bump his first 2 albums. But at the same time,
it's kind of crazy, right?
Like, what the fuck?
Like, you keep supporting
that, dude.
Yeah. So here's the thing: every time you like,
he knew though, Juice. He knew. Look at the back of his head. He knew.
You're supporting that, right? Like, I'm not gonna tell nobody what to do with their money. I don't really give a fuck. But like, the fact of the matter is, you got to embrace the fact that your principles matter.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're gonna sell them your principles for a nice pair of shoes, then cool. Or because you were a fan of his old shit, you're gonna buy his new shit. You supporting that shit? Like it's not disconnected. It's all connected. You know, of course do what you want, no matter. But
I mean, I got you. I think everybody forms their own opinion. That's the great thing about America, right? Is we can all form our own opinions, and
it's late.
Yeah, I'm sure there's just as many black people who are not upset at Kanye West. Well, I am upset. I don't think that was a good look, Kanye. If I was in Kanye's corner, I'd have been like, Kanye, you come on, bro. Like, I think
we call them coons.
But that's why I say I think Kanye does a better job of staying relevant in today's media than a lot of other artists, than Jay-Z, than Ray J, than Ice-T. You know, Ice Cube stays relevant as far as movies. Kanye's not in movies, right? But he's just as relevant as Kevin Hart. He's just as recognizable as The Rock or Kevin Hart. You know, Kanye West walks into his room, we're going, oh shit, Kanye. You know what I mean? He still holds a celebrity status, and we look up to him. And this was disappointing to a lot of people, just because you didn't have to wear it, bro.
Yo,
like, just wear a regular black T-shirt.
You should watch the interview with Tucker Carlson. That shit is wild.
Yeah, no doubt.
So strange. Anyway.
Even though we're missing our 4th co-host, I guess that gonna wrap us up.
Yeah, man, I'm good. I think my voice is gone.
Yeah, it might have something to do with the rain. I made Juice drink some rain vodka. That might have something to do with that.
Man,
right?
that's what's right here.
Yeah,
I took a sip.
You drank the first cup though. Stop it. You was almost done with that first cup. Okay. Yeah, that shit is okay. You can pour some of that in mine. All right. I didn't know it was that much. Okay. Come on, man.
Yeah. But yeah, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yep. No doubt, guys.
Coming through.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime.
Thanks, anytime. Steph. You know.
Yeah. We don't know where you disappeared off to. You disappeared for the most meaty part of our discussion, right, bro. This was the most meat on the bone. Right. Yeah, guys. Thank you for joining us. The Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast, yo. Coming back at you. We'll see you next time.
Deuces.
Peace.
And let me turn this camera off. Very obviously.
Yeah, you just edit that.